Marco's, we make it better. Better ingredients, better flavors, better quality. A signature sauce that families have always counted on. We are not only serving your family, but our families too. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas with center squares or cheesy bread for just $29.95. When you want pizza you can trust, choose Marco's. Your family deserves the best. Marco's Pizza, crafted with heart and proudly shared with love.
Scroll, comment, close the app. For most people, a toxic comment takes 5 seconds to type and is instantly forgotten. But for the person on the other side of the screen, those words don't just disappear when they log off. Today, we're tackling a side of the internet that thrives in the dark. Content creator Tyrico Barnaby is breaking his silence, stepping offline and opening up about his brutal battle with cyberbullying. Tyrico, welcome back to What's Trending. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I'm happy and proud of you that you are shedding the veil off of a topic that I think we allowed to go untouched for too long.
Most definitely.
So talk to me a little bit about your experience with cyberbullying.
Coming into the arena was something that I had the pleasure to do. And I was so grateful to even step into some spaces that I was afraid to step in for so long. But as soon as I entered the space, I feel like people more so took the confidence and the sharing of my life as a gateway for them to hide behind a keyboard and also speak personally on things that they know not of. And I know starting out in 2022, it definitely was a dark road coming into, say, the art arena and the content creation arena. And it definitely was something to work through, because as you gain popularity, you gain a lot of hateful comments and people that are trying it every which way to bring you down in some aspect.
And if you want to share, what are some of the things people are saying to you online? And are they coming in your DMs, or are they just talking amongst themselves?
It's more so, it's comments, and then it's going in the direction of fake pages. And I always laugh that we're doing fake pages in 2026.
They're doing fake pages to do what? Come and comment on your stuff?
It's more so using your likeness to gain or paint you in a negative light to the public. And especially with my platform, and I'm spreading light and positivity, community, unity, and more so we're coming from a small island. So they're trying to take that and more so carry it in a different direction, that people see me in a negative light, outside of the positivity, that people are more so being proud of me from being from a family island, more so being proud of me for doing the things that I'm doing in such a short period of time. So that definitely was something that I had to nip in bud, and more so, I don't want to say ignore, but more so don't give it so much light to take over what I'm actually doing.
And what are they saying?
What aren't they saying?
What aren't they saying? So they're covering the gamut of things.
They're trying to paint narratives that are not true, and the internet, it develops a lot of stories that just hit the airways. One, TikTok could spread a narrative that isn't true, and I know there was a lot of, say, Caribbean island wars going on, and so they tried to make me the face of one of them when I didn't even know what was happening until a friend sent me a post and said that, hey, this is what is happening, is this you behind such and such? And I'm just like, no.
So they're pretending to be you online and doing
so also the account also had my face, and then also taking my videos that I posted and then reposting it with their captions and what's not. So it's, and then people who are not understanding who don't know of my platform personally, automatically saying, hey, this is what you're doing.
Right.
And so I am grateful for the community that I have that know me as an individual and know the awareness and what I share on my own personal platforms to say that, hey, Ty will not do something like that.
And that's the thing, because being in this space, you know, you're expected to be upbeat. You're expected to still hold your composure. But how has something like this, if it has, had any effect on your mental health? Yesterday, we had a men's mental health specialist on. So I have to ask, like, how has this been playing on your psyche?
It definitely put me in some thinking of if this is something I actually want to do. And I'm forever grateful for my community. And people take it for granted, chosen family, outside of like blood, but you have your chosen family that definitely will hold you down and say, hey, we have your back, keep going. This is gonna fizzle out, and people who support you will support you.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't give it the attention they want you to have, because I think a lot of these things that happen, they are looking for a reaction.
Right.
So if you attack negativity with negativity, it blows up. So if you tackle negativity with positivity, it has no way
Fizzles
to
away.
go.
But people seem to forget that there is a breathing, living human on the other side of their actions, on the other side of their comments.
Yes.
What do you think it is about the screen and the keyboard that makes people turn into gangsters?
I think it's more so entitlement. I think people feel that just because you share what you eat in a day, what you wear, that you might share a little glimpse of your family life, that they have a say in how you breathe, eat, and function as a human being, when in actuality it's just access that we're giving them in these special arenas. And they're taking that for granted, and more so it all boils down to entitlement.
So how do you protect your peace? How do you, on what day, what happens where you say, you know what, this is the day I log off, this is the day I sign out, this is the day I just go to the beach? Like, how do you protect your peace in these moments?
Well, even in that, I feel like the block button is my best friend. And I realized that in my personal life and my social media career as it grows, it's important for me to do what is best to protect myself as well, and to know that my social media is also my safe space. So anyone that brings some type of negativity into that space automatically is removed. And I feel like I have that right to do so. Yes.
And I absolutely relate to you because I am a content creator as well. I do broadcasting, TV as well. And so I have not been spared the wrath of the comments and the messages and the feelings from other people as well. And I've heard this repeatedly with other Bahamian creatives. Like, would you have any advice for someone who may also be drowning in this dark side of the web?
The only thing I could really say is to hold your own as an individual, and more so to remember that everyone that is put into the public light will be, or will have to face some type of scrutiny, and to understand that it comes in waves, but to know that, to remember what you stand for, remember your why, remember that your community will always have your back in what you do, because they know who you are as an individual.
And it's hard to kind of wade through and weed through who's who and who's not, right? Because you have some people who, on your page, are just lurkers. Some people are actual, sincere supporters. How do you find out and figure out the balance between, you know, who's really here for me and who's just, they just want to be all up in my business? Because I still haven't figured that out.
It's something that I'm working through as well, too. And I used to be the one that hang up on those who support me or clap for me, in a sense. And weeding through, I tend to now focus on those who are showing up. And focusing on those who are showing up, you know that they will always speak highly of you, publicly and privately. And those who are lurking and what's not are lurking because they just want to look fine, but also knowing that if it crosses a boundary, you have the right to remove them.
Exactly.
And speak up for yourself, because you're still human at the end of the day.
And I will say to you, I've been doing this for a very long time. Keep doing you. You're doing nothing wrong.
Yes.
When you're doing things right, this is what happens. This is like par for the course.
This is definitely it.
Take it in stride. Don't let it affect you, and you're doing a great job.
Yes, thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story and putting your guard down. You know, that takes a lot of strength, especially when the internet expects everyone to just take the hits and keep scrolling. Well, we appreciate you for being completely honest and raw with us and forcing us to look at the human cost of one single comment. Well, coming up, we're pivoting from the digital battlefield to a viral moment that will completely melt your heart. A tiny internet sensation is in the studio to show us who the real boss of the timeline is. Trust me, you need to smile. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Hi. Hello? Hey, girl. I am Wendy's. I'm trying to go to Essence Fest. Wendy's and Coca-Cola want to take you and your bestie to New Orleans. July 3rd through 5th is Essence Fest, and you could be traveling VIP style.
Roxy,
Tenders?
Tenders.
All you gotta do is upgrade any premium lunch combo 1 through 12 or a salad to a large, like a spicy number 6, add cheese and bacon, or a Dave's classic, or my personal favorite, Tendies. This will now serve as your final boarding call for flight 735, service into Essence Fest. Boarding now. Nola! We coming back?
From the darkness to the light, we love a good viral moment, but this one is extra, extra, extra special to me. A few weeks ago, my 6-year-old daughter stole the internet's attention with a single hilarious question when she asked me, who the boss? The video has 2.3 million views on Instagram, so we figured it was only fair to let her step away from the tablet and join me live in the studio to finally answer that question. Everyone, please welcome my favorite little superstar, Farron. How are you, Farron?
Good.
And welcome back to our set, Tyrico Barnaby, who had so much to say earlier about the dark side of the web. We're gonna lighten it up just a little bit, and then we'll get back to that. But Farron, look at me. We're back. Now you're at mommy's job. Remember, you always ask me, where do I work? Who's the boss? I'm just the employee. This is the place that I'm the employee at. So remember that video that we did?
Yeah.
And I told you had 100,000 views, and then you had 100,000 likes. Everyone loves the video, but they really want to know, who is the boss? Who's the boss at home?
One of your bosses.
One of my bosses. They're the boss of me at work, and they're the boss of me at home? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you're a little superstar on Instagram, right? And millions of people. Do you know what 1 million people is?
No.
More than 1 million people, 2.3 million people have seen that video. How does it make you feel when you go in the store and when you walked into the building today and people say, who the boss? Are you excited, or how you feel about it?
Excited.
Excited?
Yes.
All right, so tell me a little bit about Farron. What does Farron like to do when she's home? What do you like to do when you're home?
I'm thinking.
You're thinking, okay. You want me to tell them for you? You like your stuffies?
Yes, I do.
Which one is your favorite? Which one is your favorite?
Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty, I figured as much. And Tyrico, you're still here with us, right? And you can see what that celebrity, that limelight, that people noticing you everywhere you go can do. And she's just 6 years old, and she's still coming to grips with what that means, right? And so when we were walking into the door today, just in the building here, someone said, oh, that's who the boss. And she just kind of like froze up.
Yes.
But you've been doing this for a while, right? And so what advice would you give to her or anybody else who is still trying to navigate these very uncertain, unsure roads?
I would say just embrace it.
Yeah.
I am still embracing it now. Just walking into the gas station, you have someone to walk up to you and be like, oh my God, I just watched your video talking about kung fritters, and I have a couple of recommendations. So I usually just smile or just wave, but it's something that you will definitely have to get used to.
Yes.
Just smile and just embrace it, because it is a good feeling overall.
Yeah, and Farron, how do you feel when people approach you about your video?
Happy.
You feel happy?
Yeah.
Does it make you want to make more videos, create more videos? Or you're like, no, I don't want this again?
Videos.
You want to do more videos?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you want to be a content creator like Ty B. What kind of videos do you want to create?
I want to do that big guy thing.
You want to do the big guy. Big guy. So you like TikTok trends?
Yes.
Okay, all right. What other trends and dances do you want to do?
Party at the beach.
Party at the beach. Because you know what she's talking about?
I will hope so. I know my students have done it 1 million times in my classroom as well.
Yeah, right? And so we talk about the fun side of the internet, but earlier, you know, we chatted with you about some of those experiences you had. And, you know, just to kind of vary the conversation, like, what has happened to you that made you say, this is cyberbullying and I don't like it?
I will double back to the previous conversation of the fake page. It definitely, I think it happened around my birthday in 2022. When my friend sent me this page, and it had my a profile picture of me, and I'm just like, I don't remember making this page. And then it had several of my outfit of the day videos, because that's how I started out on TikTok and Instagram, mainly doing the what I wore a day for regular outings, when I go to my regular job, and that more so, it gained a lot of traction quickly, this page, because it tripled my regular following in the span of a week when I was actually like trying to ask them to like, who is this, take it down. And it gathered a lot of negative comments talking from me just being an individual, body shaming in a sense, and people just feel very entitled to speak on me, and I've never met any of these people a day in my life. So it went beyond just the Bahamas. It went to the Caribbean. You had Jamaicans, you had Trinidadians. Everybody speaking very negative in a sense about me as an individual. And it definitely ventured into attacking people who were already popular in the social media space. And so with them thinking it's me, damaged some connections in a sense, and them coming after me personally.
And
a lot
maybe
of them,
even money, and maybe even business opportunities and partnerships.
So, and I know me being an educator as well too, outside of content creation, I had I wouldn't say difficult conversations, because I think my children understand that, well, my students, I call them my children. My students understood who I was as an individual coming into the space. So a lot of them, definitely, I had to explain to them what cyberbullying was, and I had to explain to them what was basically happening. And it was difficult to navigate, because you're trying to stay professional in an environment, but also trying to defend yourself against something that you have no control over.
Right.
So it definitely was a time to be alive.
And it's crazy because, you know, with Farron, I've posted so many videos of her. And every time I post her to my Instagram, they're the ones that kind of go viral and do crazy numbers, right? I would hate to think that this is a world that she wants to venture into. And eventually it turns, you know, dark for her. It's scary to think of. I wanted to express herself and explore this industry and this business that I love, but it's like, what's gonna come her way, you know, when she gets older, or maybe not even, because some people don't even care that you're a kid.
People don't. People don't. And I even when I'm just doom scrolling in a sense, I look at the regular comments of a regular video when people say the most nastiest things about children, especially. And people don't understand that behind the keyboard, you have regular people who are talking, people who are going grocery store, regular people who are just existing. So it's not that we're online and we're just some AI-generated character. We are living, breathing individuals. Like coming from a background, have mummies and fathers and children, and have engagements with actual people in real life. So I think people need to be more kinder and understand that we are individuals, and to actually be more nicer online.
And as a parent, that's something I am battling with now. Like, how much more do I post her online? I did a video early this year where it's like, it's time to make a decision, because she now knows what's going on. People are literally stopping her in the grocery store, stopping her in the gas station. And I'm like, hold on now. You gotta go through me to get to her. So I'm like, how much more of her do I put online where it's still safe?
Yes, and safety is also a thing as well too, because...
Have you ever felt like unsafe?
I have. There was a situation that happened where I shared my more so weight loss journey, in a sense of areas that I walked and what's not, and there was an incident that happened where it did get kind of dangerous in a sense. So even with that, you have to understand.
What happened?
Most definitely walking in a particular area, and there was someone that learned the route and like stopped and more so tried to engage with me, and this was like 6:30 in the morning.
What?
And I'm just like, I understand trying to make connections and what's not, but it definitely, it's only me one walking solely in my area, so it definitely could have gone left very quickly. So it's, you have to be very discerning in the area of social media, and I think I'm learning that very quickly to know what to share and what not to share.
And I think with everything, there's the dark side and then there's the light side. Because, you know, here we are celebrating Farron and her video and everything that she's done on my page, you know, to garner all of this attention. And so we just got to figure out how to balance both sides and really figure out what it means to us. So Farron, back to you. I see you looking at all the big lights in the studio and all that stuff. Are you excited to be here? Yes? Yeah, you're excited to be here? So do you think I'm a boss now? Here I am, interviewing people on a big set on national TV. Do you think I'm a boss or am I still just the employee?
Employee.
I'm what?
Employee.
I can't win for losing, Ty.
Can't win for losing.
Can't win for losing. Okay, so another question for you, last one. After this, where you want to go? Ice cream?
Wait.
What do you want? No, you can tell me in the car. You can tell me in the car.
Right now.
Well, trust me, Farron is a natural. She is a character in and out of the house. Thank you so much for coming to Mommy's Job and being here, all right? And she is actually inspired an event that I'm hosting, so shameless plug that I'm gonna toss out right now. She asked me who the boss, and I was planning this brunch for a while, and I didn't have a name for it, didn't have a feel, and didn't have a mood or mood. I was just like, I don't even know what to do with this. But when that video went viral, I was like, that's it, who the boss the brunch. And I am hosting Who the Boss the Brunch next week, Saturday, June the 13th at La Chateau. That's 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. As you know, this is for my community of entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, freelancers, remote workers, side hustlers, and the elite 9-to-5 employees as well, right? So if you're a girl boss, a boy boss, make sure to come in and check it out. We're gonna have a great time. It's the official toast of the summer.
Yes.
And we will get together and share. All right, thank you so much, Ty B, for being here.
No problem at all, always a pleasure.
Farron, thank you once again for coming on the show. All right, well, money moves fast, and if you aren't paying attention, you're falling behind. We're cutting through the complex financial noise to give you the real-world business and economic insights you actually need. That's after the break. Thank you, Ms. Farron. Thank you, Ty B.
There's something extraordinary happening in the Bahamas right now. Young minds with bold ideas and the courage to build something that has never existed before. And it's all happening right here at the Student Innovation Pitch Competition.
The Student Innovation Pitch Competition is an opportunity unlike any other. It challenges students to take an idea or real problem facing our communities and to build a solution. Not someday, now.
Look around us. Industrial product design, biotechnology, agricultural innovation. These are not just subjects. They're solutions to real Bahamian challenges. Food insecurity, healthcare access, economic independence. This is the generation that changes that story.
For too long, we've relied on solutions built elsewhere for problems we understand better than anyone. When Bahamians develop for Bahamians, that's when real change happens. That's what this competition is about.
This competition is open to every student. Bimini, Nassau, Exuma, San Salvador, every corner of the archipelago. If you have a bright idea that can move the Bahamas forward, we want to hear it from you.
Imagine an ecosystem where our brightest young minds are not just studying innovation, they are living it together right now.
When I started this program, I didn't see myself as an innovator. I just had questions and problems that I wanted to fix. Learning industrial product design, learning how to take an idea from a sketch to a real prototype. That changed how I see everything. Competitions like this tell young people like me, your ideas matter. You matter.
So, what are you waiting for? Go to tdcbahamas.com. Apply. Show the Bahamas what you've got.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Economics, presented by Sand Dollar, the digital Bahamian dollar.
U.S. legislators recently introduced the Promoting Authenticity with Influencer Disclaimers Act this week, which would amend the federal election campaign of 1971 to require any person paid by a political committee to include a disclosure in their online content. Under the bill, political committees must notify creators of the disclaimer requirement at the time of payment. The disclosure must appear in a clear and conspicuous manner in audiovisual, text, and graphic content and be spoken audibly in audio-only formats. A 2024 study by global creator agency Billion Dollar Boy found that 28% of U.S. content creators had been approached to produce political content ahead of the 2024 presidential election, and 43% of those not contacted expressed interest in future political partnerships. The new legislation is expected to take effect on January 1, 2027. Work week is behind us, and we've got a party that's worth adding to your calendar. Bahamas Carnival weekend is here, and La Vie Back to the Island is setting the tone. From the vibes to the venue, everything is lined up for an epic night of fun. Call your friends, charge your phones, and get ready to make some memories. La Vie is ready. Are you? Well, keep it right here. More What's Trending is up next.
The tastiest thing about soccer is sharing it with the whole team, just like the new Ready for Soccer. A delicious lineup of 16 slices and 4 flavor sections. Perfect for sharing from start to finish, even beyond the 90 minutes. Get your team together and dig in, only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. Out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
I'm Jordan, by the way. Tom.
So how's your preparation going? By now, you should be completing home repairs since the last storm, updating and replenishing your emergency kit, and paying closer attention to the ZNS networks for earlier than normal developments in the tropics and general storm tracking. Hurricanes don't wait. Why should you? This season, be weather smart, weather safe.
And that's a wrap on another week of What's Trending. Thanks for watching us all week long. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS, and we'll see you right back here on Monday at 6 p.m. Until then, have a great holiday weekend, everyone.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Lakush Lapinder. This is ZNS. This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories.
The Minister for Grand Bahama provides an update on major developments and investments planned for the island. Government official toured the Grand Bahama International Airport as redevelopment efforts continue to move forward. And the verdict is in on a case that went unsolved for more than a decade.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Shalia Roll. Thanks so much for tuning in. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, providing an update on the proposed Afro-Caribbean Marketplace and Logistics Center, as well as major road work improvements planned for the Hudson Estate subdivision. The minister says both projects represent important investments in Grand Bahama's future, with one aimed at driving economic growth and the other at improving daily life for residents. Our Charlie Jones leads us off tonight.
population of Grand Bahama can continue looking forward to major development. The Minister for Grand Bahama noting that the proposed $1.86 million Afro-Caribbean Marketplace and Logistics Center is making headway. Slated to be constructed where the International Bazaar now stands, the marketplace is said to become a tourist hub, boosting the local economy and providing job opportunities for Grand Bahamians. Additionally, Minister Moxie notes government has moved on to the next phase of development.
We're in the project preparation facility phase of it, but of course, finalizing the acquisition and the payment of it, that's front and center. And we had a meeting just Monday with the Port Authority on it as well, and it's moving ahead. And so the funds are there, and it's a matter of the board. The board is called ACMLC Grand Mama Limited. That's the board that's been established for the development of the marketplace.
Additionally, the minister says the government continues to make progress related to the acquisition of the Bahamas Princess Resort and Casino, as well as settlements with International Bazaar stakeholders. She says once those payments are completed, the project is expected to advance significantly.
We have already made some payment on the Harcourt side of it, which is the Princess Tower and Casino. We're processing still the bazaar payments.
Those aren't the only developments taking shape on the island. The Hudson Estates subdivision is now undergoing major roadwork improvements. The community, which has long been known for its pothole-ridden and deteriorating roadways, has been a source of frustration for residents for years. Now, the Member of Parliament says steps are being taken to address the long-standing infrastructure challenges and improve conditions for motorists and homeowners alike.
It started, I would say, maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago or so, and it continues. It will continue. There are many miles of roads that's being done. And again, it's a private subdivision. But the government of the Bahamas has committed to ensuring that those road works are completed. So I'm happy to see the progress that's been made and the progress that will continue.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Charlia Jones.
A key project critical to Grand Bahama's economic future was the focus of high-level discussions on Thursday. Government officials, airport executives, and development partners met to review the next phase of redevelopment for the Grand Bahama International Airport, one of the country's most important infrastructure projects. Officials say plans are continuing to advance as stakeholders work towards delivering a modern gateway for residents, visitors, and investors. Our Sherelle Dames has more in this report.
Two cabinet ministers visiting Grand Bahama on Thursday as efforts to redevelop the island's main aviation gateway continue to gain momentum. Minister of Aviation and Minister of Economic Affairs touring the Grand Bahama International Airport and met with executives of Freeport Airport Development Company and Manchester Airports Group to discuss the next phase of the airport's redevelopment and the path forward for one of the country's most critical infrastructure projects.
Today I traveled to Grand Bahama to be able to meet with the leadership team here at the Freeport Airport Development Company, and they were able to provide me a briefing, some of the plans that are being worked on, some of the proposals in terms of the development of the airport, and we're now going to be working out the timelines to ensure that the project continues and we have a beautiful airport to present to Grand Bahamians. And so today effectively was to provide me with a level of briefing and detail on the work that they have begun and how we're going to be working to improve that, bring some excitement to Grand Bahama in seeing their new, brand new, beautiful airport.
Manchester Airports Group was previously announced as the government's development partner for the project. Aviation Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis says Thursday's discussions provided an opportunity to review and chart a path for the next phase of development. Also at the table was Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Jerome Fitzgerald, recognizing the airport as a key part of the island's long-term growth strategy.
What we see in the pipeline for Grand Bahama, we want to ensure that we have a modern airport here that's efficient and that the Grand Bahamians and the Bahamas at large can be very proud of. And I think that's what the outcome of our discussions and our planning is going to be able to, reveal and show to the Bahamian people. So we're very excited about Grand Bahama. We're very big on Grand Bahama, and of course we're, as a government, as they say, we're putting our money where our mouth is.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Sherelle Dames.
In other news, the verdict is in for a case that remained unsolved for more than a decade. A courtroom filled with family members, attorneys, and onlookers waited anxiously as a jury delivered its decision in the disappearance of Keith "Fathead" Russell. Our Sherelle Dames has the details in this report.
Guilty. One word bringing an end to years of mystery surrounding the disappearance of Keith "Fathead" Russell. An 8-person jury today found Emma Jean Fitzgerald guilty of murder in a case that spans more than a decade, despite Russell's body never being found. Emotions ran high inside the Supreme Court as the long-awaited verdict was delivered. In a 7-1 verdict, Emma Jean Fitzgerald was convicted of the murder of Keith "Fathead" Russell, bringing to a close a case that has captured public attention for more than a decade. Fitzgerald appeared to listen intently as the verdict was read in the Supreme Court, offering only a nod of the head as Supreme Court Justice Andrew Forbes provided directions regarding the next stages of the matter. Meanwhile, Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions Terry Archer described the case as a unique one, given the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of Russell.
The case was an interesting case, and it was the first time I got to do a case where there wasn't any body, and I think the evidence was there. The police did a good job, and it was based strictly on circumstantial evidence. So at the end of the day, the jury came back with a verdict. The verdict was guilty.
For Russell's family, the verdict marks the end of a long emotional chapter. But despite the conviction, Keith's last child says one painful question remains unanswered. Where's the body?
All we could really say is finally. Everyone's happy, but we just really wish we could lay him to rest.
And now, with the verdict being given, attention now turns to sentencing. Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions Archer says the court will review additional evaluation reports before determining Fitzgerald's punishment.
And besides that, the psychological report, there would also be a social report to determine when how much sentencing she should get. But the general sentencing is between 30 and 60 years, and that's a matter for the judge.
Now, while awaiting sentencing, which is scheduled for July 23rd, 2026, Emma Jean will be remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Sherelle Dames.
In news from the Crime Beat, police have confiscated a quantity of suspected hydroponic marijuana following a drug operation carried out in Grand Bahama on Wednesday. According to police, shortly before 11 a.m., officers assigned to the Drug Enforcement Unit, assisted by members of the Anti-Gang and Firearm Investigation Task Force, acted on intelligence and conducted a search in the bushy area of the rear of Allenbrook Lane. During the operation, officers discovered a white bucket containing several clear vacuum sealed packages of suspected hydroponic marijuana. The suspected drugs were seized and transported to the Drug Enforcement Unit, where investigations are continuing. Police say the suspected marijuana weighed approximately 4.1 pounds and has an estimated street value of $8,200.
And still to come.
100 graduates of the University of the Bahamas Northern Campus celebrate a major milestone as they receive their degrees. That story, sports, and more when we come back.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Save More Drugs. We got you. From cosmetics to prosthetics, what you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, the prices you need and deserve. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
KMW Battery and Tires now offers oil changes starting at just $35. Fast, reliable service you can trust. Open Monday to Friday, 8 to 6, Saturdays, 8 to 4. Call 351-2595 today. Don't miss the 25% off Labor Day sale at Park & Shop this June 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 6th. Excluding red tag items and underwear. Park & Shop, downtown. It's all about fathers at Esquire Men's Freeport with 15 to 20% off store-wide and selected items at 50% off from June 1st to June 20th. Find the perfect gift for dad at Esquire, the best of menswear. Call them at 352-8816. The St. George's High Performing Arts Department presents Conservatory of Dreams, a Regency Tale, June 6th at 8 p.m. and June 7th at 4 p.m. at the Regency Theater. Tickets are $30 for adults and $20 for students. Available at the 17 shop. Call 557-6646 for more details. Majestic Trucking and Retail is having a summer sizzle sale. Buy a brand new 18-inch high-velocity pedestal fan with remote control for only $55. 100% copper motor built and designed to withstand the test of time. Get yours today while supplies last. For more details, call them at 351-3936 or WhatsApp 807-3936.
In celebration of the 16th year anniversary, the Integrated Medical Center presents the Health Fair and Gospel Concert, Saturday, June 6th from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Resilience Square in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Enjoy free health information, gospel music, family fun, giveaways, and more. For more details, call 699-1304. Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. A proud milestone was celebrated at the University of the Bahamas North Campus as graduates crossed the stage earning degrees and beginning the next chapter of their lives. Ramiko Knowles has the highlights in this report.
100 graduates and hundreds more gathered Thursday morning to celebrate a milestone years in the making as students of the University of the Bahamas Northern Campus received their degrees, marking the culmination of hard work, commitment, and dedication. A celebratory atmosphere filled the venue as family members, friends, and supporters cheered on their loved ones while they crossed the stage and officially joined the ranks of University of the Bahamas graduates. Among those bringing remarks was Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, who told graduates that the future of Grand Bahama will depend on talented, educated, and ambitious individuals like them to help drive the island's continued growth and development.
Class of 2026, your journey has shaped you. Now the future is calling you. Answer that call with confidence. Answer it with courage. Answer it with purpose as you leave this ceremony and step into the next chapter of your lives.
Also offering words of encouragement was Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper. He reminded graduates that the Bahamas' greatest resource has never been its beaches, but its people, adding that the key to overcoming challenges in education and national development lies in unlocking the full potential of Bahamians.
So we call on you today as future business leaders, as future innovators, as future nation builders. Some of you will remain in Grand Bahama, and if my colleague, Minister Moxie, had it her way, all of you will remain in Grand Bahama. But wherever life takes you, never forget that your country needs you.
Serving as the commencement ceremony special guest speaker was Yolette McPhee-McEwen, head coach of Ole Miss women's basketball team and Bahamian sports trailblazer.
Honor the journey that shaped you. Every lesson, every setback, every sacrifice, every person that helped you arrive to this moment. But don't live there. The future is calling, and it is calling your name.
Thursday's commencement ceremony served as a reminder that perseverance, sacrifice, and determination can open the door to endless possibilities. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
With graduation season in full swing for college graduates and future freshmen, a university advisor is hoping currently enrolled pupils will take advantage of the summer months ahead to fully prepare for their next chapter. Our Matthew Martinborough has more details in this report.
Veteran international student recruiter and educational consultant for Colorado State University, Alondra Oswood, is advising tertiary level pupils to use the summer months not for vacation, but purposeful career investment. She says appropriate deployment during the summer, whether on or off campus, is the perfect time for sophomores and juniors to be one step closer to achieving the ultimate career goal after graduation.
You should be taking advantage, whether it be home in your home country, and that specifically is dealing with your field, or if you decide to stay for the summer, because they can do CPT and work off campus, or they can remain on their campus and still get these particular experiences, whatever it may be.
Oswood also proposes another potential avenue during the summer: graduate school. She says those aspiring to advance their studies is a continued upward trend and strongly recommends the idea.
I spoke to Education USA in the Bahamas, and they shared with me that they couldn't believe the numbers increasing for Bahamians actually in the graduate level. And so for us to push our economy and take it to the next level, I do recommend graduate school. But in order to do graduate school and at a fully funded opportunity, they need to have those internship and research experience in their field to even do that.
The education consultant wishes to advise students who are in the midst of their summer employment to exercise more initiative that can advance their respective career skills rather than be confined to one company's culture.
The problem is many of our students go back to the job and they look on jobs for recycled information, meaning that people at the top, they have the degree, yes, but the people at the top have those experiences and can only teach them the company's culture. They're not adding anything new to that. So what they should be doing is looking to see what the problems are in those said companies, right? And saying, I can find the solution.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
We salute our Facebook friend of the day, Karen Rackley. Thank you so much for your support. And that's a look at stories making news. Shane, tell us what's happening in sports.
Well, youth football, the teen news is upward trend, this time thanks to Youth Life Football Grand Bahama.
Well, that's great. All right, sports is coming up next. Stay tuned.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167. Or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
It's all about fathers at Esquire Men's Freeport with 15 to 20% off store-wide and selected items at 50% off from June 1st to June 20th. Find the perfect gift for dad at Esquire, the best of menswear. Call them at 352-8816.
In celebration of the 16th year anniversary, the Integrated Medical Center presents the Health Fair and Gospel Concert, Saturday, June 6th from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Resilience Square in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Enjoy free health information, gospel music, family fun, giveaways, and more. For more details, call 699-1304.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Join the Progressive Liberal Party for our annual Labor Day March on Friday, June 5th, 2026. The march begins at 8:30 a.m. and starts and ends at the Independence Park. March alongside Deputy Leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, I, Chester Cooper, and the National Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, Fred Mitchell, as we celebrate the hardworking men and women of the Bahamas. Bring your families, bring your friends, and bring your co-workers, and come march with us. Refreshments will be served immediately following the march at the PLP headquarters. We look forward to seeing you there.
Save more drugs, from cosmetics to prosthetics. What you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, vitamins you need, and prescriptions you gain. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Dear audience, at the conservatory, talent rises, but so does rivalry. 3 outsiders arrive. A dancer from the docks, a singer from the mines, and an actor from the streets, each daring to claim a place they were never meant to hold. But in these halls, passion invites envy, love sparks scandal, and ambition comes at a cost. Will tradition decide who belongs? Or will talent rewrite the rules? Watch closely. Because here, dreams are tested, secrets are exposed, and only the bold survive. The Conservatory of Dreams, where whispers become applause.
Welcome to the ZNS Total Sports Cave, everyone. I'm Shane Stubbs. Youth Flag Football Grand Bahama and Miami Extreme continue their push to develop the sport through their GB Extreme tournament. The event featured local and international teams delivering an intense day of competition.
I'm glad to see that the kids are playing football. That's what it's about. It's about the kids playing, having the opportunity to compete with people that they don't see every day, so that they can get a better idea of where they are, and where they want to be, and what they need now to do in order to get there.
And in the eyes of President of Miami Extreme, Rich Raphael, the level of play is elevated, which is a good sign in elevating the athletes to the next level.
Quite honestly, we've seen the improvement from the players from last year compared to this year and how far they've progressed. At the end of the day, the kids having a good time is what matters.
In the end, the holders of bragging rights in each division would be the Youth Flag Football Dolphins in the 9 and under division. The Bellboys out of Miami would skate away with the under-11 crown. The DC Steelers would be crowned the 13U champs. The Shockwave All-Stars would capture the 15U division title, and the Youth Flag Football Jaguars took home the 15U Girls Championship. Shifting over to the bodybuilding stage, the Bahamas Athletic Physique Alliance is gearing up for their August 15th show over in New Providence. The alliance is made of veteran bodybuilders who decided to create something they believe will revive the energy around the sport and keep the athletes engaged year-round.
We have Joe Stubbs, who's one of the most elite bodybuilders ever, one of the only men to qualify, well, only man in the Bahamas to qualify for the Mr. O, which is the most prestigious bodybuilding show. He's our president, so he's leading the charge. He's also been president of the other federation for years as well. One of the goals was really just to give options so that athletes can compete wherever they want. They come have fun in the show. Just make the sport fun again.
The show will be hosted at the University of the Bahamas and feature athletes competing in various categories. And on the basketball front, Jonquil Jones had it going for the New York Liberty in their 97-82 win over the Toronto Tempo. 22 points and 17 rebounds was the standout stat line posted by Jones. She also locked down the paint with 2 blocks on the night. The Liberty will be back in action on Saturday night versus the Indiana Fever.
And that's my time, everyone, but your local forecast is next. I'm Shane Stubbs. Get you all on the rebound.
Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
At Save More Drugs, we got you. We got what you want. We got what you need. We got what you came for. The quality you expect. The prices you need and deserve. Save more at Save More Drugs.
CompuSec Printing is making room for summer with a massive store-wide sale. Get 30% off in stock items only now through July 31st. Save on shirts, hats, souvenirs, flags, indoor flagpoles, and more. Visit CompuSec Printing, West Atlantic Drive, Freeport. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays, 9 to 2.
Hi, and welcome to Edwin's Screen Printing and T-shirts. At this business, we offer screen printing, we offer dry fit, we offer vinyl, we offer sublimation, we offer screen printing, we offer a multitude of things. Anything you need placed on a shirt, a cup. We also offer vinyl, we sell T-shirts, we sell cotton shirts, dry fit shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve. If you are a local vendor who supplies things for tourists or anyone where you offer a business, we supply shirts, we supply everything for you right here. If you are interested in birthday shirts, funeral shirts, graduation shirts, just because shirts, it's here. Anything you need, we also offer embroidery, and we are here just to serve the Grandmama community. So come on down to Edwin's Screen Printing, and we are located in the Isle of Luck Plaza next to Lexus Chicken. You can contact us at 602-7184.
Have you been feeling stressed and unfocused lately? Stress is known as a silent killer for a reason, so you may want to pay attention to it. Ignoring stress can affect your focus, productivity, your mental, and your physical health, causing issues such as high blood pressure, which can be detrimental in other ways. So what can you do to help reduce stress and reduce your risk? One is move your body more. Simple as having a brief 10 to 20-minute walk or a short workout can release endorphins, which help reduce stress and make you feel better. You can also try breathing exercises or yoga. Sometimes just taking a pause and a deep breath or two can help you reduce your stress in that moment. Also, if you want to try some supplements, we have adaptogens such as ashwagandha and rhodiola, which help your body to manage stress by reducing cortisol, the stress hormone. So take control of your stress. Try these tips and stop by Fitness Connection for the right supplements to help keep your mind clear and your body healthy. See you soon.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Shalia Roll.
And I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight, coming your way next.
Up in the Bahamas Tonight, the government defends NIB's incremental pension increase amid criticism. Plus, a veteran trade unionist shares his vision for the labor sector ahead of Friday's separate Labor Day parades. And guess who showed up to a kindergarten graduation just this morning? The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. As concerns mount over the rising cost of living, some Bahamians are questioning whether recent pension adjustments go far enough to provide meaningful relief for retirees. The government, however, says the increase is part of a longer-term plan already in motion. Our Leah Cooper leads us off tonight.
Minister with responsibility for the National Insurance Board, Pia Glover-Roll, responds to those expressing concerns on social media about a 1.5% increase in pensions. Minister Glover-Roll assuring the public that incremental increases will happen over time.
So Minister says when he was the minister in the last term would have brought to Parliament, and this is where our original biennial increase started, and I think that was in 2024. So this biennial increase that happens every 2 years is already legislated. And it incrementally improves our pensioners' benefits to ensure that they are meeting the cost of living increases.
Back in 2024, a University of the Bahamas study found that a middle-class family of 4 in New Providence and Grand Bahama needs over $10,000 a month to sustain a basic lifestyle, with costs in the nation's capital estimated to be slightly higher than in Grand Bahama. For working-class families, the minimum living expenses are estimated at $5,000 per month to cover basic food, shelter, and transport. This stacked up against the rising cost of groceries and gas due to ongoing global tensions. In fact, a local daily reported on Thursday that prices are set to rise again. The minimum contributory pension monthly rate stands at $364, and next month's increase will rise by $5.46.
National insurance was never intended to be the sole source of retirement income. Rather, it was designed to complement personal savings and occupational pension arrangements. However, the reality is that many Bahamian retirees depend heavily and sometimes exclusively on their national insurance pension. Recognizing that reality, the biennial adjustment process helps ensure that pensions receive periodic cost of living increases, enabling beneficiaries to better maintain their purchasing power over time.
Still, Minister Glover Roll insists that the increase was processed to address those rising costs.
Persons who would have received pension 20, maybe 30 years ago, the cost of living has well exceeded what they would have received back then. So it's a way to help our pensioners. It's a way to help them ensuring that they are surviving as the cost of living continues to increase.
And the goal of the gradual increase is to help cushion the impact of rising costs and strengthen household finances over time. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Leah Cooper.
Well, thanks, Leah. Now, with inflation and the rising cost of living continuing to add pressure on house budgets, renewed discussions surrounding the minimum wage may soon be back on the table. Amaya Moss has more in this next report.
While the ongoing discussion surrounding minimum wage here in the Bahamas is set to receive attention at the upcoming 114th session of the International Labor Conference in Geneva, Switzerland, where members of the National Tripartite Council and the Minister of Labor, the Honorable Pia Glover Roll, will participate in discussions on wage setting, including matters related to ILO Convention 131. That conversation coming some 3 years later after the Davis administration increased minimum wage by $50 from $210 to $260. But Chairman of the National Tripartite Council, Sharon Martin, says what may be less known is that previous minimum wage assessments relied on outdated economic data.
Now we are understanding that the Bahamas Statistic National Institute, they have the data that we need to work with in order to be able to see where we are on the playing field. It's just a Band-Aid, and we just need to rip the Band-Aid off, and begin to take a look at the sore itself.
Well, with a packed agenda ahead, Martin says the council, along with the minister, will dive directly into business.
Once the conference is over and we return, the council will take that bull by the horn and begin to look at wage setting in the Bahamas, whether it's a wage setting body that is recommended to cabinet, but definitely that we feel it will be one of the major things, because out of the belly of that, we will talk and begin the discussions on living wages.
Well, discussions in Geneva are expected to begin this weekend, with Bahamian officials indicating that any recommendations emerging from those conversations could help shape the future conversations on wage setting in the Bahamas. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Amaya Moss.
Well, the Trade Union Congress to lead a separate march tomorrow in honor of Father of Labor, Sir Randall Folks. TUC President Obie Ferguson is calling on supporters to turn out in black and white as they seek to promote fair labor rights in the country. Ferguson telling ZNS News the intent is to push for a livable wage between $300 to $350 and the launch of a tribunal court to deal with labor disputes.
Labor Day is very important for us. I mean, we have a workers' agenda. with 21 items. We intend to spend the rest of the 5 years concentrating on workers' issues and try to fulfill some of the things that we promised. An example, the House of Labor. We strongly have the view that that should be remodeled in the interest of the workers. So we invite all beginners.
The Labor Day March by the TUC will depart from the House of Labor on Wolf Road, ending at the Southern Recreation Grounds with a rally and a place sacred to the father of labor.
It is there where, as you know, Sir Randall Fox did quite a bit of his speeches, which is really well recognized by our country and on the workers. And we're going to try and see if we can mimic what he did and how he did it, because we want to keep his history alive for future generations.
The major parade, as usual, will leave from Windsor Park North on East Street to Bay Street, ending with a rally at Arawak Key. Well, coming up, the Bank of the Bahamas responds to issues stemming from a system upgrade. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and everybody watching from Nassau. Tonight, we welcome a star. So please join me in welcoming the barbecue rap star, star of the show!
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
At Marco's, we make it better. Better ingredients, better flavors, better quality. A signature sauce that families have always counted on. We are not only serving your family, but our families too. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas with center squares or cheesy bread for just $29.95. When you want pizza you can trust, choose Marco's. Your family deserves the best. Marco's Pizza, crafted with heart and proudly shared with love.
You're looking at a shot there of East Street heading south at the intersection of Wolf Road. On the right, Wendy's, and that shot courtesy of drone pilot Shane Gibson. Welcome back. Bank of the Bahamas is responding after a system upgrade meant to improve service left some customers dealing with long lines, online banking issues, and payment delays. The bank says services are stabilizing, but full normalcy is expected by next week. Alal Maycock tells us more.
A banking upgrade meant to move customers forward has for some sent them back to the branch. Bank of the Bahamas says it's migrated its system from Oracle's FlexCube 12 to FlexCube 14 over the May 22nd holiday weekend as part of an effort to improve customer service and support new payment standards. But since the upgrade, some online banking transactions have not processed as expected, leading to long lines, higher call volumes, and service delays.
Due to a number of online banking transactions that did not transpire the way that they were intended to, customers, influx the bank to inquire of their services as they rightly should. And so the volumes has created long lines.
For customers who can walk into a branch, the delay may mean waiting, but for Family Island customers, a failed transaction can carry a bigger cost, including flights, time off work, transportation, and accommodation just to complete banking business in Nassau. Paul says customers still have access to their money, but some may need staff to process transactions manually while the online issues are being resolved.
They may not have been able to use the online banking platform, but we can facilitate it manually until we resolve the online issues.
The sharpest impact is on payment services, where some local and international wire transfers may not move as quickly as customers expect.
Local banks, same-day processing. Internationally, may experience a day or two lag.
Bank of the Bahamas says it's working with Oracle to resolve the remaining issues following its system upgrades, with some payment services still experiencing delays. The bank says customers can visit branches for manual assistance from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as it works towards a full return next week. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lyle Maycock.
Also making news this evening, less than a week into the Atlantic hurricane season, and a local weather expert is taking a look at the trends shaping the next few months. Diane Dorset has the story.
Atlantic hurricane season has always been a part of life in the Bahamas. But according to meteorologists, the characteristics of storms have evolved over time. While the number of storms fluctuates from year to year, forecasters say one trend has become increasingly noticeable. Stronger hurricanes are becoming more common.
We've been seeing a slew of intense hurricanes impacting the region. The last time we saw that was in the 1920s and early 1930s. We haven't seen that since.
In recent years, Bahamians have experienced firsthand the devastating effects of powerful storms, including Hurricane Dorian in 2019, which left a lasting mark on the nation's history. Meteorologists say warmer ocean temperatures are providing storms with more energy, allowing some systems to intensify rapidly.
The Hurricane Wilma was the first one that went to Category 5 in less than 36 hours. It means the storm is getting intensified with 36 hours, a 70 millibar drop within 36 to 48 hours.
Experts say advances in technology have improved forecasting accuracy, allowing meteorologists to better track storms and provide earlier warnings. However, they caution that forecasts are not perfect, especially when it comes to predicting sudden changes in strength. Therefore, preparation remains critical.
These storms, the impact they have is significant, and they're very devastating, and the impact that they have on a community is significantly great. And you can see the damage that they cause, and it takes years for a country to prepare, for a storm, to recover from a storm, but it only takes a few minutes to hours to impact by the storm.
Whether this season turns out to be active or quiet, the lessons learned from previous years continue to reinforce the importance of readiness across the Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
Well, teams at Bahamas Power and Light continue to review emergency response plans and other measures to ensure the company's readiness this hurricane season. Chief Executive Officer Tony Pratt says it's part of their year-round commitment to hurricane preparedness.
One of the things we always do ahead of hurricane season is, pole top inspections, tree trimming, and just general hurricane preparation. So that's going on throughout all of the islands. And one of the things that we also have to do to be able to receive the microgrids, the solar energy from the microgrids, from the utility scale solar in New Providence, is upgrades to our transmission and distribution network. So that is ongoing in New Providence as well as the Family Islands. So we're expecting Abaco and Eleuthera to be coming on stream first of the islands.
CEO Pratt further notes that 2 new dual-fuel turbine engines have also been commissioned for Inagua to bring relief to those residents.
All of these things are ongoing. It's a lot of moving parts, but we look forward to rolling out the IPPs, to bringing down the overall cost of electricity, to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, which is really the national objective.
Meantime, questions are growing over the impact hurricanes could have on the supply chains of small island developing states like the Bahamas. According to Director General of Foreign Affairs, Jerusa Ali, the answer lies in the strength of the country's international relations. These, she says, play a critical role not only in disaster response and recovery efforts, but in ensuring the Bahamas can access critical resources, humanitarian assistance, and economic support when crises emerge.
We need help. If we're impacted by a natural disaster, we need help. Our ministry has a responsibility of contacting foreign counterparts, of providing them with an updated assessment, of communicating our needs, and of thanking them when they send equipment, supplies, funding to help with post-hurricane disaster relief. I can say that we've been quite moved by the support that we receive from CARICOM countries, but also countries that are not in this region. I can recall after Dorian and even after Melissa, we received support from India, from Singapore, from the US, from Canada, UK, and what's even more meaningful about that support is that it's sustained.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
5 cars, catch the keys, don't blink, take these.
Island Luck is giving away 5 brand new cars. Earn 10 reward points for a chance to enter and win. Enter weekly from Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 2 p.m. Winners are announced Sundays at 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat and Island Luck Socials. 5 cars, 5 weeks. The more you play, the better your chances. Visit islandluck.com for more information. Catch the keys only at Island Luck. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Tasha, what you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to cash, J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance. Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online. Stop it. How you do that?
Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for an online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never have to stand in line again.
Amen to that.
Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind.
If you live in the Bahamas, this is the one product that can save your home during a storm, and most people don't even know it. This isn't a regular window. This is hurricane impact rated, thick, heavy, and built to last for when the winds shift. See how it doesn't rattle? Cheap windows dance in the wind. This one stays locked. The frame is reinforced. Wind stays out, noise stays out, water stays out. If you want your home to stay protected when the weather gets real, visit us at We Buy You Sell on Robinson Road. WhatsApp us at 636-8412 or visit our website, wbusbahamas.com.
The tastiest thing about soccer is sharing it with the whole team, just like the new Ready for Soccer. A delicious lineup of 16 slices and 4 flavor sections. Perfect for sharing from start to finish, even beyond the 90 minutes. Get your team together and dig in, only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Looking to transfer your designs directly to fabric or garments for the family gatherings, funerals, social clubs, team uniforms, and much more? Contact Janae's Uniform Center digital team via WhatsApp. Text only 817-3295. Get that special effect image on your t-shirts or garments for your group. We use the latest technology in embroidery, DTF, and regular DTF transfers to print your file. Contact Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road, 394-8385 or 6, or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Look sharp and fresh.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Well, it's grad season. Relatives and friends gathering at Evangelistic Temple this morning to celebrate the milestone and cheer on the little ones about to make the big leap from Temple Christian's kindergarten to elementary school. And in the crowd, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, whose grandson was among the graduates. And from all of us here at ZNS, a hearty congratulations to all of tomorrow's trailblazers. Oh, Royston and Marlena are just waiting on us to hear what's coming up in Access Now. What you got for us?
Good evening, Makushal. Of course, this Saturday, the Bahamas Carnival Road March, if you feel like muggling, getting design ready, and just getting out there and getting jiggy, is taking place for all to see this weekend, this Saturday. Hopefully the weather is nice.
Yes.
And not too hot and not raining, obviously.
Especially, they put so much work into those costumes,
beautiful
the designs. And then speaking of designs, we're going to have a little bit of a sew and tell, not show and tell, but sew and tell with our guest tonight, who's going to be telling us all about her Saturday's summer sewing program and how maybe you can learn to pick up some sewing skills or refresh them if you had them before and you've gotten a little bit rusty. So
I'll try my head. A little, you know.
Good puns there.
Right. A little. Yeah.
Well, stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Something extraordinary happening in the Bahamas right now. Young minds with bold ideas and the courage to build something that has never existed before. And it's all happening right here at the Student Innovation Pitch Competition.
The Student Innovation Pitch Competition is an opportunity unlike any other. It challenges students to take an idea or real problem facing our communities and to build a solution. Not someday, now.
Look around us. Industrial product design, biotechnology, agricultural innovation. These are not just subjects. They're solutions to real Bahamian challenges. Food insecurity, healthcare access, economic independence. This is the generation that changes that story.
For too long, we've relied on solutions built elsewhere for problems we understand better than anyone. When Bahamians develop for Bahamians, that's when real change happens. That's what this competition is about.
This competition is open to every student. Bimini, Nassau, Exuma, San Salvador, every corner of the archipelago. If you have a bright idea that can move the Bahamas forward, we want to hear it from you.
Imagine an ecosystem where our brightest young minds are not just studying innovation, they're living it together right now.
When I started this program, I didn't see myself as an innovator. I just had questions and problems that I wanted to fix. Learning industrial product design, learning how to take an idea from a sketch to a real prototype. That changed how I see everything. Competitions like this tell young people like me, your ideas matter. You matter.
So, what are you waiting for? Go to tdcbahamas.com. Apply. Show the Bahamas what you've got.
Hi. Hello? Hey, girl. I have Wendy's. I'm trying to go to Essence Fest.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola want to take you and your bestie to New Orleans. July 3rd through 5th is Essence Fest, and you could be traveling VIP style.
Roxy?
Tenders?
Tenders.
All you gotta do is upgrade any premium lunch combo 1 through 12 or a salad to a large, like a spicy number 6, add cheese and bacon, or a Dave's Classic, or my personal favorite, tendies. This will now serve as your final boarding call for Flight 735, service into Essence Fest. Boarding now. Nola! We coming back?
Let's celebrate the Bahamas independence. Stop by Janae's Uniform Center and get 30% off selected Independence Polo items. Get an additional 10% volume discount for 30 or more pieces. Net items excluded. The net items, Janae's unique limited edition Independence tees. Don't forget the black, gold, and aquamarine ribbons in various sizes to decorate the home or office. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or text the Janae's digital team at 817-3295 or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Happy Independence, Bahamas from Janae's.
bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding dong. Bang bang bang. Ding bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding dong. Bang bang bang. Ding bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding dong. Ding bang ding. Ding ding dong.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
First official visit to an educational institution since assuming the portfolio, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, met with University of the Bahamas leaders to discuss the institution's strategic future and strengthen government collaboration.
I believe collectively, with the support of me as minister, the support of the government, support of yourselves, I believe we can truly achieve the vision that you've set and the contributions that you have put in. Hopefully we can see them all come to fruition in a manner that you desire.
UB President Dr. Robert Blaine welcomed the meeting with ministry officials and praised the Board of Trustees for their work.
Having an alumnus as the minister is one of the best things that we could possibly ask for, and we're grateful. I'm grateful for that. I want to join the chair in saying that I have an incredible team. These are the people that do the real work. They do the heavy lifting here, and they make opportunities for our students that are just beyond imagination.
Chairperson of the board, Allison Maynard Gibson, expressed her gratitude to DPM Cooper for the timely visit and outlined the university's key priorities.
The board's #1 priority is international and national accreditation. We already happily have become a candidate for SAC-COC accreditation. We expect by the end of this year to finish our compliance requirements.
John Lee McIntosh for Air Talk.
Tomorrow is World Environment Day, and this is your reminder to keep our beaches clean.
Plus, Bahamas Carnival is this weekend, and we've got all the details on the fetes and the fun. That information is straight ahead.
Also, Bahamian creativity shines in Italy. Stay close for that.
And of course, your Thursday Sports Report is up next.
Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Welcome indeed. Now, there's a special kind of optimism, and I may be projecting, that arrives the day before a holiday. The kind that has people convinced they're going to rest up, get organized, maybe restart their exercise journey, and still have time for some fun and socials.
And then the holiday arrives, and you take one decent nap, eat a good meal, binge a few episodes of that show everyone's been talking about, and all of a sudden, it's time to go back to work. But if there's one thing us Bahamians do well, it's make the most out of a holiday weekend.
You said it there. And whatever your plans are, make the most of it, and of course, do it your way. With that said, let's dive right into the news. Tomorrow, June 5th, doesn't just mark the Labor Day holiday, it also celebrates globally as World Environment Day. Government and private environmental stakeholders led a cleanup project to reduce lingering waste on beaches in Delaport today. Department of Environmental Planning and Protection Director Dr. Rihanna Neely Murphy says the mission is to protect the beaches and marine life that remains central to Bahamian life.
Beaches are a major part of the ecosystem in the Bahamas, and it's a lot of what the work that we do at the department. It is to maintain and ensure that we have these beaches well into the future so that we keep them clean, we keep them protected, and we conserve the biodiversity that depends on these spaces.
And as we head into a long holiday weekend where thousands of Bahamians flock to the beaches and other public spaces, officials are admonishing beachgoers to clean up after themselves, whether on a beach or not.
This is very much a coastal nation. No matter where you stand, you're no longer than like 3 miles away from the coast. So if any garbage isn't disposed properly anywhere through New Providence, it can end up on a coastal environment like this.
Well, it's one of the most colorful and high-energy events on the nation's calendar. This Saturday, thousands of revelers are expected to take to the streets for Bahamas Carnival. While organizers are anticipating a strong turnout, there are a few changes this year, including a new route. Our Leah Cooper has more.
With costumes ready, trucks prepared, and thousands of revelers eager to hit the road, excitement is building for Bahamas Carnival, which returns this Saturday, June 6th. The annual celebration of culture, music, and community is expected to draw thousands of participants and spectators for a day filled with energy, color, and Bahamian pride. Owner of Rhythms Carnival Band, Dario Torelli, says organizers are putting the final touches in place to ensure an unforgettable experience for everyone involved.
We're going to start at 3 p.m. because you know the sun is hot in June and we don't have no casualty because it's about drinking and reveling and frolicking on the road. But we're still going to go from, we're going to start at Awaki and we're going to end at Awaki, go around Goodman's Bay and come back.
And this year, there's a new parade route designed to improve the experience for masqueraders and spectators alike. Torelli says the updated route will help create a smoother flow for participants while allowing more people to enjoy the sights and sounds of the celebration.
The reason why we picked the route, and we've been fighting for the route for years, is the scenery. You can't get nothing better than that. The backdrop of the ocean in the background, you pass on this beach, go slow bend, it's beautiful, and that's for selling the product to the world. The Bahamas has one of the most beautifulest destinations for Carnival Parade, and we want to continue to sell that.
Torelli says participation numbers are expected to remain strong this year, though there could be a slight decrease compared to previous years.
I think it's going to be a little depressed than last year because a lot of persons coming from the States was afraid to travel when TSA and ICE was in the airport. And so, but like I said, 80% of persons we're communicating with, just coming here, persons asked me if they could get a T-shirt package again, but they gave with us with Rhythms last year. And so we're hoping to have at least 600 revelers on the parade, just to make sure that we keep letting this industry grow.
From the vibrant costumes to the thundering soca beats and the coming together of people from across the country and around the world, Saturday's celebration promises to showcase the very best of Bahamian culture. For many, it's more than just a party. It's a chance to celebrate unity, creativity, and national pride. For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now, I'm Leah Cooper.
Thanks so much, Leo. Meanwhile, the Bahamas Pavilion at the 61st Biennale de Venezia is placing Bahamian creativity, cultural identity, and artistic excellence firmly in the global spotlight. The exhibition, In Another Man's Yard, John Beadle, LeVar Monroe, and the Spirit of Posthumous Collaboration, has emerged as one of the most talked about national pavilions at the prestigious International Exhibition in Venice, Italy, drawing acclaim from critics, curators, and major art publications around the world. Now, the Biennale de Venezia is considered the most influential and prestigious contemporary art exhibitions in the world. This year, the Bahamas has not merely participated, it has captivated. International media outlets including Art News, Artsy, Sotheby's, Interview Magazine, ArtNet, and the Art newspaper have praised the Bahamas Pavilion, with the Bahamas being recognized among the top 10 national pavilions out of nearly 100 participating countries. A fashion designer is in the house to give us a sewing lesson.
And of course, Diane Dorset has your Access weather forecast, so stay close.
Step into any Super Value or Quality Supermarkets location for specials like Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounces, $1.69. Jacquard vegetable oil, 40 ounces, $4.49. Whole chicken wings, $1.69 per pound. Turkey wings, $2.99 per pound. Sunny Delight smooth or tangy drinks, 64 ounces, $2.99. You'll be singing a happy tune this June with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
In the wild, everything is always in front of you. Sauvage Elixir, Dior.
Available at Lurix Duty Free, Bay and Parliament, Old Fort Bay, Marathon Mall and Palmdale.
Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday, the 4th of June, and it's time for your Access Weather Forecast. Your quick look at what's shaping our weather for the next few days. And boy, do we have some wet days ahead of us. Looking at our satellite picture, we're still seeing a broad band of clouds across the northwest and central Bahamas. We've been talking about that tropical moisture and frontal boundary that are still kind of working together to produce scattered showers and thunderstorms across much of the country. We know the rain will be more of a come and go kind of thing, I guess. The biggest concern really will be for areas of street flooding. But as the system moves southward, we'll get less rain here and more so in the central Bahamas. Now, the Saharan dust advisory is still in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands. And yes, it may reduce visibility, but it'll also limit shower development in that region. And finally, tracking the Atlantic, there is no tropical cyclone development expected over the next 7 days. Now, looking at our 3-day boating forecast, in the northwest Bahamas tonight and tomorrow, we'll get northeast winds at 15 to 20 knots with seas at 4 to 6 feet. High tides at 11:32 this evening and again at 11:56 in the morning. In the central Bahamas, winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas at 2 to 4 feet. And in the southeast Bahamas, winds shifting east to southeast, 10 to 15 knots with seas at 2 to 4 feet. And then finally on Saturday, in the northwest Bahamas, we'll get northeast to east winds, dropping a bit to 12 to 18 knots. We see seas at 3 to 6 feet, a low tide at 6:47 in the morning, and a high tide at 12:43. And then in the central and southeast Bahamas on Saturday, east to southeast winds, 10 to 15 knots with seas at 2 to 4 feet. Now, we've got a long weekend ahead of us. So for those traveling tomorrow, here's a look at your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
I said I live alone, jump in my ride and come with me. We wake and scrape the morning come, fell asleep when I wake up. My hair now was already gone. My hair now, where you been, gal? I've been looking for you, looking for you. My hair now, where you been, gal? I've been looking for you. Give me the horns, y'all.
That was your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. And that wraps up your Access Weather Forecast. Have a safe weekend, everyone. And remember to join me again at 11 for a full weather update. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Diane. It's time now for a little show and tell with fashion designer Indira Moss of Eyelashan. She's showcased in Paris Fashion Week, and now she's here to talk about her Sewing Saturday summer program and to give us a crash course in stitching.
Thank you so much for joining us on Access Now.
Thanks for having me.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about your Saturday sewing program?
So I wanted to do something to help adults this time embrace their own creativity with quick projects you could do, finish in the class, and have something to walk away with.
That's very cool. Now, I've known you for a long time, and those who may not know, this might be not the right name, but Plushies all the way back from the Atlanta stage, which is now in Bahama or Albany. This is an expansion of that, but how did this all come about?
Yeah, so I work with clients. I've been doing the stuffed animals, and they've been asking me to teach them a little something, and they want to sew. So I finally decided to add that into everything else I've been doing, and I've really been enjoying it.
Awesome. So what are some of the items that students are going to be making in these programs?
So they'll be making a tote bag, something like this. This is the most popular one that I've gotten questions about. And
nice. So you can walk away with one of these.
Yes, at the end of the class, that is yours.
Okay.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Bucket hats.
Bucket hat as well.
Yes, and also alterations. So sometimes you have pants that are too long, you need a dart here and there. I teach people how to do those little things themselves rather than having to wait for a tailor or a seamstress to do it.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of money on tailoring.
Same.
Okay.
So I think you have a demonstration you want to show us? Or I'm going to sacrifice.
I'm volunteering here. I've been volunteered.
So I will demonstrate. We have a bag that is almost done.
Yes.
So I'm going to do a few stitches, and then I'll let you step in and finish it off.
Thank you for that. That sounds good. I'll step in after, when it's already like 90% done.
Yeah.
When you be like, look what I made.
And this is a good project for first-timers because you just do a series of straight lines over and over, and you end up with
a finished product.
Right.
Okay. Is there anything else that students or people who are participating need to know before they come into the class? Anything they should bring?
Well, if you have your own tools, scissors, pins, chalk, stuff like that, you could bring it, but I always bring extra in case people need it. And if you don't have your own sewing machine, Phil's Sewing Machine Center, where I host the class, they actually have machines just like this one. This is a Janome 725S. You can rent the machine.
Oh,
and
perfect.
Then if you like it, you can buy one.
Purchase one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll
Here we go.
begin stitching forward and then press the back stitch button.
The back stitch button.
Yes.
Okay. I'm
That'll
paying close
secure your
attention.
stitch. And then you go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Stop before you get to your pins because you don't want to sew over those.
Understood. It's looking good. This is how a pro does it.
Mm-hmm.
You're expecting me to, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Now is your turn.
Oh, okay.
I believe in you.
That was quick.
There you
Now fly
go.
the plane.
Fly the plane, here we go. Now there's a pedal underneath. I'm pushing the pedal
Yes.
like a gas pedal.
Yes.
And I
pretty
imagine
much.
the idea is to be as steady as I can, right?
Yeah, don't floor it.
Steady feet, steady hands.
Not 100 miles per hour, people. Okay, I got my foot on the pedal.
Yeah.
I'm steady on. I see the pin here.
Yes. So you go straight
line.
forward.
There we go.
and
Mama,
when
you watching?
Get to the end, then you'll back stitch.
I'm a little nervous. All right, here we go. And stop it.
Yeah,
And then
take
back
out your
stitch it.
pin.
Take out the pin.
Yep.
All right, gotcha.
And go forward
Go
until
forward
you
some
see
more.
the starting
The start.
stitch line, and that's where you back stitch.
I'm really focused there. Boom.
There you go. Now back stitch.
Back stitch it, this button?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
How'd I do?
Very good.
All right.
Look at this.
Now you
I can't tell you, I was actually quite nervous about that. How do I release it?
Now you lift up.
Lift up?
Yes. The
This?
sewing foot. Lift up from inside.
Inside.
There's a little lever.
A little lever.
Yeah.
That one? Oh, I see it. Okay,
Yeah,
there we
there
go.
you go.
All right, you can tell I'm not
and
familiar.
roll the needle up
Roll the needle up.
from the side.
On the side. There we go. Okay. All right.
There you go.
Action. And
And you have the clippers.
the clippers, okay. My clip too.
Yep.
Oh, careful. Oh.
Got it.
And that one.
All right. Amazing. So how can people sign up? As we can see, Royston just went from 0 to hero when it came to the sewing. How can someone make sure that they're the next one in line? How can they sign up?
I have a schedule on my Facebook page, and there's a link for the jot form. I take up to 8 people per class.
Okay.
And there's different dates in June and July, so you could sign up for the class.
Perfect. And your Facebook page name one more time?
It's at Eilish Style.
All right. There you go.
Thank you so much. What do you think of the stitch there? Is that all right?
Very good. You did a good job.
Clean. Clean, guys.
All right, cool.
Well done. Thank you so much for
Thanks so
joining
much
us
for joining
tonight.
us.
All the best for Saturday Sewing. Stay with us. Sports with Swanson Gibson is up right after this break. It's a very nice, and it matches. It matches.
Scotiabank knows your first home is where you finally get to say, this is me. It's where memories grow inch by inch. It's where hosting creates income and where your home can become a business. Or it's where little feet take their very first step into a future you've worked so hard to build. And we know how important it is to capture those special moments. At Scotiabank, our goal is to help you find a home for your first.
Welcome to your Thursday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Swanson Gibson Jr. Topping sports, Carifta gold medalist and Penn Relays long jump champion Carlin Archer recently committed to the University of Auburn, looking to continue success at the collegiate level. Our Wayne Wilson attended Archer's signing and brings you all the details.
Carlin Archer committed to the University of Auburn. Carlin's athletic resume is nothing to laugh at either. Just this year alone, he became a Carifta gold medalist for the long jump, also becoming the first Bahamian to be crowned champion of the Penn Relays in long jump. Here's Carlin explaining why he picked the University of Auburn.
Auburn really felt like a family, like a close group of like-minded individuals, so that's why I really picked the school, because it's like home almost. Feels unreal because a couple years ago I never really imagined getting this far in track. But since I put in the work, I kind of realized I didn't make it this far.
This is a very exciting time for Bahamian sports as Carlin moves on to potentially break a Bahamian and Auburn record, set in stone for the past 30 years by Craig Hepburn, who was also in attendance of the event.
I wish him all the luck. The coach and staff there at Auburn is definitely something that he's going to be proud of. He's going to one of the best schools, one of the best conferences of the SEC, so he's going to definitely be in good hands.
And that's all from me today. Once again, I'm Wayne Wilson, ZNS Total Sports.
Thank you, Wayne. From one Archer to the next, ZNS Total Sports also caught up with B3A's president, Dramico Archer, at the Andre Rogers Stadium as he discussed subventions for athletes.
It is a government grant that is issued on an annual basis, and the athletes who are awarded the subvention, they enjoy the benefit of the resources, financial resources from the government at varying tiers. Unfortunately, many people have this view that it is a political process. It's really not. It is a merit-based exercise, and it is based on your performance year over year.
And still on the B3As, Ian Kerr was recently named the athlete's representative for the B3As. Kerr edged out his colleague Anthony Strawn 30-15 in the online voting system. He has represented the Bahamas on the track at various levels, competing at the 2024 Olympic Games and the Carifta Games as a young athlete.
For me, the most important area to tackle would be transparency. I know I said this before and I keep touching on it, but I think a big part of what's missing is transparency and holding the right people accountable to not only mistakes that they've made, to the progress that they've also made. And so these things are vital, especially relaying information to the athletes.
The new B3A's athletes rep acknowledges those who supported him along his journey in athletics.
Kwan Kuma, he was an athletes rep, not this year, but for 2024, 2025. And he was a big part in me and giving me the confidence to even run for athletes representative this time. So I appreciate Kwan.
And a talented young athlete looking to make an impact outside of the athletic arena. This weekend, Maya Crawley, Carifta gold and silver medalist, is set to launch a clothing and shoes drive in tandem with the Heart for the People outreach ministry.
What inspired me to do the drive was the desire I've always had to help the less fortunate. And I spoke to my aunt because she always organized and give backs. And so I spoke to her about my idea, and it just encouraged me and motivate me to take the action to help the less fortunate.
They held this Saturday, June 6th. At Jesus Christ Senate Ministries parking lot located in the old Dad Plaza, Carmichael Road. We will be giving away new and used clothing, shoes, toiletries, and groceries. If they want to donate, they can contact me on 425-1835.
This drive is intended to support all ages. On the diamond, Jazz Chisholm Jr. and the New York Yankees began their 3-game homestand against the Cleveland Guardians on Wednesday. The long ball, a big theme in this one for both squads. Chisholm joining in on the fun, hitting a solo shot into the second deck, tying things up for the Bronx Bombers. Ultimately, the Yanks would fall 5-4.
They've been playing pretty good baseball, putting the ball in play against really good pitchers. You know, our pitchers are pretty dominant out there normally, and they've been going out there and attacking our pitchers and taking all the right pitches and swinging out all the right ones as well.
And the Major League Baseball All-Star ballot is officially open. The Yankees promoting Jazz in the squad ahead of the Midsummer Classic, which is set for July 14th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Yanks wrap things up against the Guardians on Thursday and continue their homestand over the weekend, taking on their rival Boston Red Sox. And that's been a look at your sports on this Thursday. I'm Swanson Gibson Jr., signing out until tomorrow.
Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby Ultratech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Ruby's Ultratech.
Step inside a world of adventure with Mandalorian and Grogu at Burger King. See The Mandalorian and Grogu, only in cinemas.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, and Shop Smart, and Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
You're looking at a shot of Windsor Park, one of the starting sites of tomorrow's Labor Day Parade. And it's time now to take a trip to Andros. Let's go.
Crab and dough, crab and rice, boiled crabs, and all scrumptious dishes Bahamians enjoy from this 10-legged crustacean will be whipped up at this year's Central Andros Crab Fest. The original cultural event that runs from June 18th through 20th is a major economic booster for the island, and organizers expect thousands of Bahamians to attend. But the festival has been marred with some controversy. It seems there's a similar festival attempting to upstage it.
We just want to clarify we are the legitimate body for all festivals in Central Andros. We welcome you to Queen's Park on June 18th to the 20th to celebrate the Festival of the Crabs with us.
Any other claims to any other fests or the rights to hold any fests in the Central Andros District on those dates are illegitimate and fraudulent, and persons ought to adhere to what Mr. Peter Douglas' committee is saying. That is the only legitimate committee for the 2026 Festival of the Crabs in Andros this year.
You heard it first. Now, of course, I went crab hunting, catching crab. I think this was 2021, 2022. I caught them, took them home in the bag in the croaker sack, fed them. And when it went time to clean them, when I opened the thing up, I saw that black gook. That's the best part, the fat part. I couldn't finish the process. I couldn't eat them.
Yeah, no, that's that. Yeah, let's say that's what would stop me. I don't think I'd be able to catch one in the first place.
I can catch them, but someone has to prepare them for me. I can't do that again. That black stuff, right?
That does it for Access now.
Stay tuned for the rundown with leadership with Ahmad Rashad Thompson.
Good night, everybody, and have a safe holiday weekend.
Freedom Fellowship Native Baptist Church family of Low Sound, North Andros invites you to tune in right here on ZNS Flow TV Channel 113 and Cable Bahamas Channel 211 on Sunday, June 7th at 3 p.m. for a special broadcast celebrating our 50th Golden Jubilee Church anniversary. Under the leadership of Senior Pastor Reverend Drs. Oswald and Mother Sabrina Poitier and Pastor Emeritus Reverend Dr. E. John Newton, we celebrate under the theme Provision for the Vision. Help us celebrate 50 years of serving God and His people by tuning in right here on ZNS Flow TV Channel 113 and Cable Bahamas Channel 211 on Sunday, June 7th at 3 p.m. We have come this far by faith.
So how's your preparation going? By now, you should be completing home repairs since the last storm, updating and replenishing your emergency kit, and paying closer attention to the ZNS networks for earlier than normal developments in the tropics and general storm tracking. Hurricanes don't wait. Why should you? This season, be weather smart, weather safe. So you're planning to weather the storm at home. You've bypassed all the shelters, your preparation is complete, and so are your emergency kits. You're ready. But what happens if the storm changes direction and it's a direct hit? What's your evacuation plan? If you don't have one, make one. And remember, take into account the location of your house, whether it's near beaches, canals, or it sits in a flood-prone area, and be realistic about the evacuation plan. Plan what to take. In its simplest form, take only what you cannot afford to lose. Have a go bag ready and a discussion beforehand what bag contents should consist of, like toiletries, medication, change of clothing, and important documents in a waterproof folder. Take inventory of your home, pictures included. Make sure your vehicle has a full tank of gas. Decide your destination and the best route. If you can't get out, find safety in the highest level of your home. And as always, be sure to pay close attention to the ZNS network for weather updates. This season, be weather smart, weather safe.
Coming this fall, Royston Jones and Melina Leonard on the Bahamas Tonight Access Now. Weekdays, 7:30 p.m. Tune in and get your fill of community news. Family Island news, entertainment, and, well, sometimes slithering animals. That's the Bahamas Tonight Access Now, weekdays, 7:30 p.m. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal? At the check-in counter? At security checkpoints? Or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports and 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paiswell Forbes. This is ZNS. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, leaders from all generations, good evening and welcome to the Rundown on Leadership. I am your host, Amadou Shah Thompson, and I am honored, excited, and incredibly grateful to be with you tonight. This is the place where leaders come to sharpen their thinking, challenge their assumptions, and become the very best version of themselves. Each week, our mission is straightforward yet impactful: to elevate the leadership conversation locally, regionally, and globally while preparing you to lead with greater clarity, purpose, and impact. As always, we begin by saying thank you. Thank you for inviting us into your homes. Thank you for inviting us into your offices, and thank you for inviting us into your leadership journey. Week after week, you continue to prove that leadership is not simply a title. It is a responsibility, a discipline, a calling. And because you continue to show up, we remain committed to advancing the conversation on leadership all around the world. We know that you could be anywhere else on a Thursday evening, but week after week you choose to run it down with us, and we are grateful. With that said, each week we gather, I want you to come expectant, ready to learn, unlearn, and in some cases, relearn, but most importantly, ready to apply whatever it is that you have learned right away. This isn't your garden variety talk show. This is indeed a learning experience, ladies and gentlemen, and right now, school is in session. I want to start with a confession tonight. Not mine, yours. There is someone on your team right now who can do no wrong in your eyes. You forgive their late arrivals. You explain away their missed deadlines. You laugh off their rough edges. They have your air. They get the benefit of the doubt every single time. And there's someone else on that same team, maybe sitting 2 desks away down the hall, who has to earn every inch of your trust over and over and over again. Their mistakes get scrutinized. Their tone gets analyzed. Their performance gets questioned even when their numbers are better. When they fumble the ball, you is called big prayer meeting. You don't dislike them, you know. You just don't feel it for them the way you feel it for the other person. Ladies and gentlemen, that gap between the person who gets grace and the person who has to keep proving themselves, that gap reveals more about your leadership than any 360 review ever could. You see, the truth is, we love to talk about empathy and leadership. We put it on our values posters. We say it on our keynotes. We tell our managers to lead with empathy, like it's the answer to every question. But here's what nobody is saying. Your empathy has favorites, and everyone on your team can see it but you. Empathy is not neutral. Empathy comes with preferences baked in. Preferences for people who remind us of ourselves. Preferences for the ones whose struggles feel familiar. Preferences for the ones whose communication style mirrors our own. And we don't notice that, because from the inside, biased empathy doesn't feel like bias. It feels like fairness. It feels like good judgment. It feels like leadership. Meanwhile, on the outside, your team is watching. They're taking notes. They know exactly who you protect and who you scrutinize. And the high performers, the quiet ones, the different ones, the ones who don't trigger your soft spot, they are quietly updating their resumes and fancying up their LinkedIn profiles. So let me ask you a few questions tonight. Have you ever defended someone you liked for something you would have condemned in someone else? Have you ever called one employee passionate and another employee difficult for displaying the exact same behavior? Have you ever looked at a struggling employee and seen yourself, and because of that, given them grace you would have never extended to somebody else? And perhaps the hardest question of all, have you ever considered that your greatest act of compassion might actually be your greatest act of bias? As you sit with your responses, I want you to know that tonight we are having one of the most uncomfortable conversations we've ever had. We're going to look at what I call the shadow side of empathy. For years, we've been told that great leaders are empathetic. Empathetic leaders build trust. They build culture. They create psychological safety. Empathetic leaders they inspire loyalty. And all of that is true. But what if I told you that empathy itself can sometimes become a leadership blind spot? What if I told you that empathy can become biased? What if I reminded you that your empathy has favorites? And what if I told you that some of the people you believe you're helping may actually be the people you're holding back? Unintentionally overlooking are some of your strongest contributors. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last several months, I've been developing a leadership concept I call empathy bias. Allow me to explain. Empathy bias is the tendency to extend greater grace, patience, understanding, and advocacy to certain people while applying a completely different standard to others. Not because of performance, not because of facts, not because of fairness, but because of familiarity. Because they remind us of ourselves. Because we understand their struggle. Because we identify with their story. Because they think like us, lead like us, communicate like us, or perhaps struggle the same way we once struggled. our empathy develops those favorites. Now here's the challenge. Most leaders can recognize favoritism, but few leaders can recognize empathy favoritism. And the consequences can be profound. High performers become exhausted. Standards become inconsistent. Accountability becomes optional, and trust begins to erode. And the very culture you're trying to build starts to fracture. Tonight, we're going to name 5 patterns where that shows up. And we're going to talk to you about what better empathy looks like as well. Not because empathy is bad, but because empathy without awareness can become dangerous. And bias in any form distorts leadership in its totality. In my experience, I've come to learn that most leaders don't have an empathy problem, they have an empathy distribution problem. And I'm not doing this conversation alone. Joining me tonight is someone I've known and respected for years. The incomparable, the incandescent Cherylee Pinder is with me tonight to help me run it down. So tonight I want you to be intentional about how you receive this episode. Ask yourself the hard questions and really explore your empathy philosophy. Because ladies and gentlemen, they shape every aspect of your leadership ethos. If you've ever made a decision about somebody and told yourself, I'm just trusting my gut, you need to be in front of this television for the next 45 minutes. So go ahead, Tiger Leaders, share this broadcast, invite someone into the conversation. Grab your pen, get your notebook, and get ready. Because tonight, we're going to finally understand exactly why you was carrying Tingham them so hard, but let Tingham them get away with murder. This is the Rundown on Leadership, ladies and gentlemen, and your breakthrough is right after this break. Stay close.
In today's world, a community cannot plan enough for a potential disaster, especially a hurricane. I'm Mario Neri, inviting you for a familiar walk. It's our 2026 Hurricane Seasonal Disaster Preparedness Program. Our special guest represents the Bahamas Red Cross, the Disaster Risk Management Authority, J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, and the Department of Meteorology. Join us, because preparation through education is less costly than learning through tragedy.
Let's swim Bahamas, bring water hazards to an end.
Let's swim Bahamas. Water safety rule number 6. Open water swimming. Always swim in line with the shore. Do not get out of your depth.
Let's swim Bahamas, bring water hazards to an end. Water hazards to an end.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, my guest tonight is my friend, my Budabai, Miss Cherylee Pinder. Cherylee is the CEO of CP Training and Consulting Services. Cherylee is a master of her craft and has been shaping our nation's leaders for decades. I am so honored to have you join me tonight to run it down with us, Cherylee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed, it's my pleasure. Now, Cherylee, I have been waiting to have this conversation with you specifically because what we're getting into tonight is the kind of thing most leadership shows are too polite to touch, right? We're talking about this concept of empathy bias. When you first hear that phrase, empathy bias, Cherylee, what comes to mind for you?
Well, if you think about the word bias, right? And I think it can stem from there. Bias is about literally having a different type of behavior, a different type of attitude, or a different thought about someone that's different from somebody else.
Yes, yes.
And when I talk about that, meaning if all of the variables are the same, the one thing is, oh, well, I don't like that. But in terms of when you put it all out, we're all demonstrating the same thing. And if I am saying, oh, but I don't like his, then we know that there's a bias. So let me give you a practical example for every Bahamians could understand, right? If we are cooking soup, and we use the same ingredients, you are cooking soup, same ingredients, my grandmother's cooking soup, same ingredients. I taste this soup. To me, Grammy soup tastes better.
That's right.
Because I have a bias, right? I love my Grammy. I think that she's off the chain. There's nothing to come between me and her. We are closer than skin and flesh.
Yes.
And so at the end of the day, my view towards this soup is going to automatically lean to Grammy.
Because of that relationship you formed with her.
Thank you very much.
You said, we are closer than skin and flesh,
that's
for
right.
Lord's sake.
That's close.
That's close, Cherylee. When you think then of the work you've done with leaders over the course of your time in business, when have you seen that actually play out in the workplace?
Empathy bias.
Yeah.
Oh, in a myriad of ways, right? It can come forth in the way that certain decisions are made, whether who is approved for vacation versus who is not, who is given extended time off versus who may not be, who gets promoted versus who isn't promoted. Empathy bias could also happen in terms of when we are making decisions on who should go to the conference, who should go on the special work-sponsored trip. Then empathy bias may come in, right? Because you may have the same individuals doing the same job, doing an outstanding job, but because of my bias, I would pick someone over the other, right? And so with empathy bias, if we look specifically at that term, it is when now we have a different emotional reaction to one person over the other. And in the workplace, that can definitely happen.
Absolutely.
So if I have somebody whom I feel is that hard worker like myself, then I will have a certain feeling attach this individual to the point that when they come with the story of why they need to have some time off, I am more inclined to consider it. Whereas the other party who does not look like us, and I don't mean look like us in terms of actual sight, in terms of their approach to work is different, the way in which they handle their affairs, the way in which they submit their reports, they communicate is different from mine. So I don't see this person in the same vein. And so when they now come and ask for time off, I'm like, no. You just had time off the other day. You're asking for too much now. But the reality is, the person who they are biased towards in terms of empathy, when they hear the story, they will give them time off 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And it's because of the association of they are like me.
Yes. Now, Cherry, you shared some light on two things. You used the word feel, and you used the term respective to how that person, because they look like, act like, feel like, sound like me, I'm more inclined to assist, to engage them. We talk about this environment where you are an early riser and you leave late. It's open office and closed office. And because I am a 9 to 4:59er,
you automatically seen as someone who isn't as committed, someone who isn't as vested in the business, someone who isn't ambitious, someone who doesn't have the same ethos and drive that we have or we want to have in our business.
But Cherry, my job description says 9 to 5. I am doing what you have paid me to do. I don't need to come to the function after work because I don't have to. That ain't in the JD. I don't have to get you a coffee for you in the morning because that ain't in the JD. I don't have to come and sit and talk with you in the breakfast table to talk about what you watched last night and what the election say because that ain't in the JD. I still perform, but because I don't do what you need me to do for you, you're saying that the empathy bias can become a part of the equation that shouldn't necessarily be. If we're looking at performance over performance versus disposition versus disposition, we see that empathy bias coming up, is what you're saying.
It can. It can very much come up, right? And when it does, in all honesty, it's unfortunate, right? And what do I always tell people in the workplace, whether I'm coaching them or whether I'm speaking to them in training and so forth? There is a thing called the JD, which is the black and white. But there's always the shades of gray.
Come on.
You know?
Come on.
And the shades of gray mean that you have to, in some ways, understand a culture of an organization, right? And when you are outside of what is the culture of an organization, this is now where you can run into problems.
Indeed.
Because, again, if you are following just the JD, and our ethos, our culture says that people who come at 7 are rewarded because they're looked at as being more in tune and wanting to make sure client needs are met, et cetera, it therefore can create issues.
Indeed. What happens though, Cherry, when the leader isn't aware that they're being biased, they're being unfair toward employee A versus employee B? How do they genuinely believe they're being equitable? They don't treat you differently by their standard. Why is it so hard to recognize that from the inside out?
Because we have a hard time seeing ourselves, right? We have a very hard time seeing ourselves. You know, even as simple as the decisions that we make. We believe at the end of the day, we made the decision and we did it and it was the right thing. But if we were to peel back the onion and really look at what is this person probably going through, what perspective do they have, what is their reality, right? And even when it comes to reality, my reality is different than yours. Because my reality is going to be shaped based on my experiences, based on my background, et cetera. So if you put all of those things in the context, we can't fault the leader. And I want to put that out there. We can't fault them when they're not aware, right? Because they truly are only going from the perspective that they see. It's like seeing the number 6 and the number 9. If you're from that area, looking at it that way, you're seeing 9. But if I'm looking at it from my point of view, I see a 6.
Come on.
So none of us are technically incorrect if we're looking at it from the perspective that we have. So what does that mean? It means that a leader has to make a conscious effort and be intentional to look at other perspectives, to see other realities, to have moments where they don't believe that their viewpoint is the only viewpoint. Right? So it means having conversations, not only with your staff in order to learn more about them and to learn, you know, what has sort of shaped what they have done, but also don't even stay in the vacuum space of your organization alone. That's why I firmly believe that excellent leaders are leaders who have had experiences other places.
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely.
And people may disagree with me. They may say, well, no. Continuity is important. The fact that you're there 20, 30 years, stability and continuity. It is true, but you don't get to see different perspectives. It's almost like you're also having ice cream, right? If I've only had vanilla, as far as I'm concerned, vanilla is the best thing around.
Best things as sliced bread.
Best thing around. But leaders should have that open mindset, that growth mindset that lets them know, although I like vanilla, let me try chocolate. Oh, someone recommended sour sub. Let me give that a try. And so that will help now to shape and have us understand vanilla isn't the only option, and it isn't necessarily the best flavor.
Yes. Now, you talk about that perspective that needs to be explored intentionally.
Intentionally.
You talked about the culture that's created when we come early and we leave late, right? We talk about that employee being on the outside of that culture because he or she is coloring within the lines, if you will. What is the impact on the employee, both the one that's being biased and the one that's not being biased? What is the effect on both of those employees? When I know I get my own way, because we ride together, I bring a coffee every morning, I talk with the children and all these things, but when I show up and I don't want to bring the coffee, I get, how does that affect the actual employees together?
In my view, both employees on either side of the spectrum, you're doing it a service.
Come on.
As the leader, you're doing a service to both. Let's talk about the person who is being biased against and overlooked and not giving opportunities. Whether we know it or not, leaders, managers, CEOs, supervisors have the ability to shape the way that leaders, future leaders, develop.
Absolutely.
And as a result, when you have a scenario where you are constantly being disadvantaged or you're not being treated fairly, it does something at the end of the day. Because what that will actually do, it may cause someone to go inside their shell in this organization and not rise to their full potential, not really exhibit the many acumens that they can have had they been supported, had they been had a fairer shake of the stick, right? So you're doing a disservice to that individual that way by not allowing them the opportunity in which to grow, helping to mentor, mold, and coach them, having them have opportunities that show that you are fair. Because what you're doing for that employee is you're building a situation now where that employee does not trust you. And where there's no trust, we do not have the full gamut of productivity in the workplace.
Absolutely, 100%.
Let me just say that, all right? So that's the first level of the service. To the person who you are always giving a blight to.
Yes, ma'am.
The person who you are always letting them get away with murder, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is a disservice as well. Because you're not doing the things that would create the discipline that they need to have. You're not giving them the avenue by which to practice, you know, good judgment, right? Good judgment would mean, for example, if I know that I am going to need to have a day off to go to my son's play, good judgment says that I will make sure that I can do all my work on Tuesday and Wednesday, that I will let my upline know sufficient time, a week or two ahead of time, that Johnny's play is on Thursday. Good judgment says that, okay, any client issue or so forth that may come up, I let my my next line or my direct report know this. So they now get to practice some skills. Some skills having to do with not only being responsible, but being organized. What other skills? How to be analytical in the whole process. So that they know how best now to navigate this.
Absolutely.
But they won't learn those skills or learn the discipline around a particular area or issue if for every time you say yes.
Indeed.
And for every time you just let them do what they need to do. And for every time you're just empathetic.
Yeah.
Too much empathy is a bad thing.
Come on.
Too much.
Go ahead.
So if I were to really say it, right? We've always heard this in our doing. Too little and too much of anything is a problem.
Same thing.
And same thing when it comes to empathy, all right? Too little and we create issues.
Yeah, too much.
We also create issues.
As well. As we get ready to take our first break, Cherry, from your perspective, is trust built more by being fair or by being kind? 60 seconds.
Being fair.
Being fair.
Being fair.
You touched on something that I want to come back to after our break, when we talk about that trust being built and broken. When we do too little, when we do too much, the same effect can take shape in an organization. I really want us to pick that up when we return. I want you to stay close. You can see by now that this episode is going to be extremely good. So stay close with us. Your breakthrough continues after this break.
In a world where our health defines our future and the Caribbean stands on the front lines of climate change, rising NCDs and global challenges, knowledge becomes our greatest defense. Caribbean Medical TV is your guide on the journey to wellness and insight, featuring our region's own doctors, nurses, climate specialists and medical institutions. From physical well-being to the emotional and mental balance we all deserve. Caribbean Medical TV empowers you because building a healthier future isn't just a regional goal, it's a global responsibility. In the Caribbean, vitality isn't just a goal, it's a way of living. Connect with the region through knowledge, hope, and the power of Caribbean resilience on Caribbean Medical TV, where awareness becomes power. Join the conversation, join the movement. Be viewing Season 4 of Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Long Island, we've helped 77 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $1.9 million in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Long Island's economy by investing in its leading sectors: fishing, transportation, and agriculture. No matter the island, every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SBDC, Bahamas.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, my guest tonight is Cherry Pinder. She's the CEO of CP Training and Consulting Services. And tonight we're talking about what I call empathy bias. Now, Cherry, in the writing I did on this episode last week, I laid out 5 patterns where empathy bias shows up in leadership, right? We don't have time for all 5 tonight, but I want to walk through 3 of them, and I want your real-time reaction to each one. The first one is what I call the mirror effect. This happens when we extend grace to people whose weaknesses look like our own. If you avoid conflict, you will forgive the employee who dodges hard conversations and label the direct communicator as aggressive. Cherry, how often have you seen this play out in the organization? We mentioned it earlier, but go a little bit deeper for me.
Yeah, it definitely plays out in an organization, and I think it plays out often. And again, no fault, because we're not in a place of blaming, right? We want to always get to the point where we help people to grow.
Yes, yes.
But the truth of the matter is we like people who look like us.
Yes, yes, yes.
When we look in the mirror, we like what we see. And so anything that resembles us, we tend to like.
Yeah.
And that could be sometimes the people who are our shortcomings as well as the things that we do well in, right? So I think the mirror effect is quite real. That the people who, the shortfalls that we see in ourselves, when we see it mirrored against others, and it's exactly like, we're like, oh yeah, it brings a place of comfort.
Yes.
Because it's familiarity.
She get me, I get her, we understand one another.
It's familiarity, right? And so that's where it comes from.
Yes. The next one is the one that broke me when I was writing it, right? Because it opened something up for me when I was writing about it, the underdog trap. We instinctively protect the charming struggler, right? The person whose effort we can see, who's likable, who's clearly trying. Meanwhile, that quiet high performer who just delivers without drama, right? The employee who chooses not to play office politics and skips the Friday happy hours, you talked about them earlier, they get under-supported. And eventually they walk Cherry. Talk about that one. What happens to the employee who is overlooked because they're not doing what I feel they should do, right?
It happens a lot. I think there's no one organization or industry where we don't see that.
Yeah.
That's in our workplace. And it's not just here in the Bahamas, but also we see it regionally, we see it internationally, right? The individual who, in all essence, doesn't play by the rules, right?
Let's talk about that.
Because there are rules.
Yes.
You know, I always tell individuals, you know, there's the rule, but there's the unspoken rule. And you have to know both in order to do well.
What is the value for that for the employee? And then how do they find out what those unspoken rules are?
The value is, whether we see it as an advantage or disadvantage, it helps them to get access into that inner circle. And it helps them as a result to get to the point where they are now seen for the expert or the professional that they are, which will mean that the value for them is more opportunities.
Indeed.
The more opportunities could be promotion, the more opportunities could be some other advantage, right? Or some other benefit, right? And we say, well, Ms. Pinder, that's not the case. People don't do that. But we see it happening, right? So what do we say to the individual who sees that happening, who hasn't been told what the unspoken rules are? I tell people, observe.
Yeah, pay attention.
Observe. Observe when you see that this person has gotten a yes and you've gotten a no. And look at the pattern and see as a result, if there's a pattern, there's definitely something then that probably needs to shift on my part. If you choose to do so. You know, let's be clear. Some of our young people are choosing not to do so.
Absolutely.
They're not going to follow any rule, written or unwritten, okay? They're going to march to the beat of their own drum. I get it. But what I want all of them to know, and when I say them, young people and persons who want to march to their own drum, think about what do you want to accomplish in that career and in that space. Now, if you want to be a freelancer, it's different. But can I tell you, as someone who works for myself, even then, you still have the unwritten rule.
Absolutely.
So you pay attention, you observe, you ask questions, all right? And then the third thing, get to know the people who you're dealing with.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I say get to know them, it's no different than when I was in college. I knew which professor liked the long, flowery, literary report and paper. And I knew the others who wanted you to get to the point. Be succinct, because in their mind, and every time they mark the paper, this is fluff. Fluff. Okay? And so you have to get to know the individuals who you're working with and know their expectations. Know the expectations. Okay? I have some clients who are sticklers for time. Let's be clear. They're sticklers for time. And anyone who knows Cherry Pinder, and I will say it on national TV, that is something that I struggle with.
Yes, ma'am.
So
yes, ma'am.
I don't claim to be perfect, because that is an open struggle for me. All right? But I am aware that that is a struggle. And I don't flippantly cast it aside. Because why? I want that client. Not only do I want that client, I want that client to see me as the valued strategist that I am. So what do? I set the clock 3 hours ahead in order
for you to
make
be there
sure that I'm on time.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a fight, it's going to be a struggle. But I make sure it happens. And you know, when I sit in that room and I am 15, 20 minutes early,
come on.
I feel
prepared,
like
ready.
I am in charge of the world.
I can tell you.
That I can conquer it all. And I also have something else happens. A sense of pride comes to me. Because why? I recognize I can do hard things. So same philosophy I want to share with the individual who has been outside of the circle of influence or likability. Because you have done your own thing or marched to your own drum, or you don't know those unwritten rules, or you have decided that, hold on, why do I have to do this in order to be that? What is it that you want ultimately?
What's the end goal for you?
Where the end goal. And what does John Maxwell say? Begin with the end in mind. Is that John Maxwell?
Simon Sinek.
Okay, good. Begin with the end in mind. All right? So think of your end and do those patterns and things that allow you to get there.
Reverse engineer it.
Reverse engineer it. And some people will say to me, well, Ms. Pinder, that's, you know, I'm brown nosing.
You kissing up.
I'm kissing up and I can't do that. Listen to me. begin with that end in mind. Begin with that end in mind. You want to lose weight? You can't start at the beginning where you're only losing 5 pounds and you're only eating the salad. Look at the end when you have that summer body and then you really, you know, flossing in your clothes. That helps.
So I think if we put it in perspective for that person who's challenged by sucking up and kissing up and seeing it from that perspective and through that lens, you have to make it a part of your strategy for moving along. If you're trying to get from here to there are some things you must do in order to do so. You can't skip the process or you'll run the risk of becoming less and less prepared for what's going to happen when you actually do get there. And if you employ a strategy versus kissing up and sucking up, and you figure out what can I do to get ahead sooner, further, faster, and be more sustained when I get there, you can employ that strategy to get there instead of thinking of it as sucking up and kissing up to people. But the last one...
And be clear, all persons who have been successful and attained anything in this life have been strategic.
Have had to been strategic to get. It wasn't flipping, it wasn't just by the seat of their pants.
And when you talk about there's a process to get to A to B, it is in that process that is of most value.
Indeed, you learn what's going to happen.
The end. It is the process.
The journey between.
In between.
Absolutely.
That where we have the most growth, the most learning, and where we tackle some of those challenges and some of those demons that truly are going to make us ready when we hit.
Because when you get there, they're going to be present, ready and flat-footed to take you on. The third one I want to talk about tonight, Cherry, the other form of the patterns we see in a workplace. This is one where I want every leader that's watching this week to do this as they move forward next week. The invisible scorecard. Some people on our team get endless chances, right? While other people have to earn the benefit of the doubt every blessed time. The gap between those two, that's the receipt, right? How would you tell a leader to audit that gap honestly when they may, but I think some people be playing fool too, Cherry. They think they don't know what they're doing. But they know full well what they're doing. In some of these organizations, they know who they favor and who they don't favor. We just came out of an election season. And there's some people who getting carried hard because they ain't vote for who and they who ain't whatever. How does that leader now audit that gap, though, and do the best work they can to take that back and I guess I want to bridge that gap.
Okay.
What should they be doing?
Before we even say what they should be doing, a leader, any leader, needs to know what their role and their purpose is.
Come on.
And your role and your purpose is to grow and develop your people, to grow and develop your team, right? Through your leadership, and this is what I want all leaders to hear, through your leadership, you have the capacity to make individuals not only the next good cadre of leaders that we have in this country, but through your leadership, you get to literally build people's professional confidence. Through your leadership, you help to actually boost their self-esteem. Through your leadership, you're also helping them understand the ways in which to work and do it at such a high level that excellence now becomes the yardstick for these individuals who have been under you. And if we have enough of leaders doing that, then ultimately our country will have that identified as what? Excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent citizens. Persons who embody excellence and demand excellence. So to get there, in order to, after you've discovered or you know what your purpose is, if you're talking about bridging that gap between the scorecard, you have to intentionally, when you sometimes are asked certain things, be they, whatever the thing is, take a pause. Don't automatically give a response. Because if your autopilot is a biased one, it will automatically be no. But step back, even if you have to say, let me get back to you by end of the day, or let me circle back to you tomorrow. So that you now have that pause to reflect on, guess what? How many times has this person asked me for such and such? What has my response been? Why has it been that way? Will this cause the price of tea to change in China? Will it cause the building to burn down if I say yes?
Right.
Be like, okay, so if I were to say yes, what does this build? This builds what? Where this individual now feels that I'm understanding their plight, which now means that they would be more in tune to me as a leader, which means they now may say, okay, if Cherry wants me to work a little extra, you know, she just finished helping me out with that situation, the other situation, let me make sure that I do it. So we see the uptick in terms of buy-in. We see an uptick in terms of treating now your business like their own. We see the uptick in productivity. And so for those purposes, sometimes it's a good thing to reassess the scorecard and make it more balanced.
Yes.
Make it more balanced.
Intentionally. Doing the work to ensure that no one person feels any type of way for too long of a period of time.
And taking that pause before you make a decision or before you get back with a decision on a matter is when you can do this. Because you can now look at, okay, who have I been giving a lot of whatever to? Oh, I let Ahmad go. Was he 4 times last year? He didn't clock this as vacation day. He didn't clock this as a casual day. I just let him go to slip out to do whatever. Be like, no. Let me pull back on that. The next time he were to come in, let me make sure, whatever the case is, I don't want him now to take advantage.
Absolutely, which I probably will.
The next thing is, I don't want others to think that I am what Curry favoring Ahmad.
Absolutely.
So it is the intentionality of pausing and not being so quick in a decision so that you can actually now look at your scorecard. We talk about invisible. Make it visible, Take checks and balances.
Absolutely.
So that you can make the right adjustments.
Now, Trey, I want to talk about something that some leaders confuse with compassion. Some leaders confuse avoidance with compassion. I'm not going to address this because I don't want to give her a hard time. She having a rough time with so-and-so. The husband dealing with so-and-so. The husband just lost his job. I don't want to carry her too hard, right? And so they avoid the issue. They avoid the challenge. The same is true for the employee who they don't like. I hope I don't favor. I can let them on a slide. What's the danger with avoiding issues at the workplace as the leader and for the employee?
Well, if you don't address it, it's going to keep happening.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing. That is the danger. The other danger is other people who will see that you are avoiding and not dealing with the issues, and as a result, they are no longer feeling comfortable in this organization. And then you may have some persons who say, guess what? Well, if it's going to be like this, I don't need to be around here. And you will have some of your best people,
start to walk away.
Your good people start to walk away, which
because why people who don't make no sense don't quit? How come they stay around, like they could be around until judgment come? The good side is pack up their bag and go. But Joanne, them who ain't making a lick, I mean, just walking backwards every day long.
If I knew that answer, I'd be a billionaire.
For Lord's sake, they don't go nowhere. They just be around forever, Cherry. They know where everything there, you know. Ain't making no sense. They don't ever leave. They don't ever say, you know what? This is my last week, I quit. They stay until Jesus come.
It's true.
And then the persons, to your point, who recognize their value is not being received, not being appreciated, they start to quietly walk away. And one day, you look up and your team is only left with the people who don't do nothing all day, but looking for the money every Thursday, every Friday.
And then we also may have something else that happens. You have the people who stay.
Come on.
They stay, but they detach themselves.
So I'm present but absent.
Present but absent.
Wow.
So no longer working as hard as they used to. No longer putting in the effort the way they used to, et cetera, et cetera. So that is a danger.
This mortgage got to pay. I need this job. Let me just hold firm.
So that is the danger.
Indeed.
The danger is to the individual as well. If we talk about the purpose of the leader being to develop and grow your people, how are you developing and growing them if you're not letting them know that A, B, and C is not right? How are you now not creating a space where you pinpoint what some errors would have been and showcasing to them what some other alternatives could have been? So they now choose better or choose more wisely the next time around. So you, in essence, breaking off your assignment.
Absolutely.
And when I say breaking off, I'm not following the assignment of I am growing and developing my people. So when you avoid as a result of being too compassionate.
Yes, or thinking you're being compassionate.
Or thinking you're being compassionate and you're avoiding. That's not beneficial to the organization, meaning you as the leader, and it's not beneficial to the employee.
Think about the employee who recognizes that the bias is in their favor. What happens when they become so cunning and they know? Like mommy and daddy. If I go talk to mommy, sweet, she's giving my way. Why is that so dangerous for the organization when the person realizes, oh, hold on. All I gotta do is bring coffee in the morning, she's let me go home every day? Because the person may receive that bias in their favor and use it to their advantage versus anything else. That's also a dangerous component to face now in the organization.
It's a dangerous component because now that individual isn't, again, growing.
Indeed.
Right?
They're enabled, they're empowered to do the wrong thing.
They're able to do the wrong thing, but not only that, as opposed to performing at a 100, they're only performing at a 50.
At best.
Only at a 50.
Wow.
Because what is keeping them there is the coming early, the making the coffee, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So they're not getting to the 100.
That's their performance.
They're not getting to the 100.
Indeed.
And so let's say they do well while they're there because of the way in which the leader sees them. But many persons take a leave. They transition. And when they transition into the next environment, they have the hardest time. The hardest time. The hardest time.
Wow.
Because our focus on this side isn't about when you come, but it's about performance.
Sure, as we take our next break, read the statement for me. Empathy without accountability is what?
A ticking time bomb.
A ticking time bomb. Empathy without accountability is a ticking time bomb. Family, if any of these three patterns we just discussed, you put our face right in your face, right? They're right in front of you. That's the work. That's the place where leadership actually grows. When we come back, Cherry and I are going to talk about what better empathy looks like, and I'm going to give you one concrete thing you can do before Monday morning. Stay with us. There's more breakthrough after this break.
Let's swim Bahamas, bring water hazards to an end.
Let's swim Bahamas. Water safety rule number 2. Never wave and shout and pretend you are in trouble when you are not.
Let's swim Bahamas, bring water hazards to an end. Water hazards to an end.
Well, what about me? What about you? What? Well, I thirsty too, you know. You want to see all the water out there? Well, why you don't give me your water, and then you go try and drink that salt water? You crazy, eh? I ain't the one talking to a dog, you know. Ain't nobody can drink salt water. Then why you won't give it to me? All dogs need fresh, cool water and sufficient shelter from the sun all year round, especially on the beach and during the hot summer months.
Summers are very hot here in the Bahamas, so please make sure all pets have ample, cool, fresh water in proper containers and sufficient shelter from the sun, even on the beach. And make sure all dog houses and kennels have proper ventilation. Let's make it Bahamian to be humane.
This message has been brought to you by the Bahamas Humane Society and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, you are late, but you're still in good company. My guest tonight is Charlie Pinder. She's the CEO of CP Training and Consulting, and we've been discussing tonight empathy bias, this whole concept of doing the right thing and still doing the wrong thing at the same time, right? So, Charlie, as we come up to our last segment, I want to ask you, what do you think is one concrete practice a leader watching the show tonight can start today that can help them to have a better week next week?
I think if leaders want to build their empathy, the thing that I would want them to do is to really get a sense of who is working for you. And when I say get a sense of who is working for you, have conversations with them outside of the work. So yes, our work may be that we are a cheese factory, but talk to your people about what's happening with them, and what's happening with them not meaning their personal life, but how did you go to, where did you go to school? What were some of your experiences like when you were in college? How did you learn to be as communicative as you have? You know, help with public speaking. I notice you tend to speak very, very well. How did that start? Get to know your people in order for you to learn different perspectives. So if I were a leader, I would even say, make it a point where you intentionally come outside where you are comfortable. Come outside of that comfort zone, right? And when I talk about comfort zone, let me give an example. If I am leading people today, as I often work with teams, I want to put myself in spaces where I get to see as many different, diverse sets of people as possible. So I volunteer for causes where different types of people are around, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different academic backgrounds, etc. So if you were a leader, why don't you volunteer to be in your child's swim club, to be a swim club president? Because on the Swims Association, you will see all of these different persons from different stratas, different industries, etc., etc. You will get to talk, and as a result, you will hear different perspectives from your association members. And then you have questions for them about what fostered their thinking, what caused that, what channeled that. And all of these things now inform you as a leader when you are working with your team, who are comprised of diverse individuals, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different ways of being, thinking, and seeing, and you now will be better able to see them in a way that allows you to have true empathy.
Indeed.
Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoe. It is being able to associate with the way they are feeling and being able to understand that. So that when someone comes and says, my child's school play is happening on Friday and I really need to go, you're not going to come from the view of what does that have to do with the work? The work has to happen. The empathy is, oh, I know what that is for parents to see a child at a play because I saw what it did for my cousin when they did that. Or you can say as a result of being in the swim association, oh, I know what the little boy said when his parent came and watched him swim in his meet, what that did for him. I could see his whole chest swell up, the pride, and you're like, yes, you have to be there. That is the response now. You have to be there.
But you brought a perspective that's not really shared in that way of getting to know the people you work with. We've been conditioned to get to know their personal business. What's your husband name? How much mortgage? How much he has on your mortgage? What your insurance name? But you said, find out from a professional perspective, what drives you? Where did you learn to speak so well? Why? What was your college experiences like? You still made that conversation professional and appropriate to the workplace and not so deeply personal where I feel like you're crossing a line. If you're listening to what Cherry has said, she's telling you and encouraging you to build relationship in an appropriate and decent manner that still applies to the work and then can be applied to the work. Because now you get to learn from this person who says, I have a talent speaking publicly because of A, B, and C. And so maybe you can stretch that person with leading a small meeting, leading a portion of the agenda for this evening, right? Rather than saying, she don't like to talk in front of people, so I ain't putting it in front of nobody. You get to now build a level of relationship with a person who you got to know better from a professional and a sound way, right? As we bring this show to a close, Cherry, there is a leader who is actively going to push back on this conversation. She knows what you're talking about, and he knows what you're talking about. I don't got no bias. I know why I can tell Peter from Paul and so on and so forth. How do you get that person right now to recognize that there is indeed a blind spot and they may be exercising and working in the area of blind empathy? 60 seconds, Cherry.
Okay. I want the leader to recognize and know that we all have blind spots, okay? And the conversation tonight and my speaking is not about beating you up as
not
a
an
leader.
indictment.
It's about saying that we all have blind spots and we need to be aware that we have blind spots. And when we do those things to help mitigate against those blind spots. We don't act as if they're not there. We do the opposite. We know that they are there, and as a result of knowing that they are there, what am I going to do to address this so I don't run into the next car? Okay? That is what we look at.
Absolutely.
And so that is what I want my leader to know, that recognize we all have blind spots. We all operate at some level from a place of bias. That's a natural response. But we must now be intentional to ensure that the scorecards are balanced in our team members. We must be intentional to not automatically give a judgment call based on the fact that this person is in the spirit with me, meaning that they work and operate like me. Okay? Don't do that because you're setting yourself up. Because I have seen a lot of times that person who you thought, oh, they're just like me, they may sometimes end up being a disappointment as well.
Absolutely.
So give that individual who is not like you the opportunity to be given a chance to be in a circle, to have an opportunity to grow and to develop, for you to mentor in the same way you're mentoring the other one. And you will be pleasantly surprised.
What's going to happen next?
What can happen next?
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've been listening. This has been a masterclass in the way of how to lead with opportunity that's going to be spread evenly across an organization, right? We have an opportunity tonight. I hope you've been listening again to really understand that this is not about having 14 degrees and having 19 letters behind your name. Are you building real relationships with people? Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to write down 2 names. The person on your team you look forward to seeing on Monday most, and the person you find yourself avoiding on Monday. Don't analyze that. Just write their names down. That gap, the gap right there, that's exactly where your leadership work lives this quarter. Right? You have to understand that if you're going to treat people differently because of how you feel about them, you're causing more harm than you are good. That's not the way you should be leading. Because if you're carrying them in your pocket, if you're doing things that are going to cause confusion, you're going to cause more harm than good. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of all generations, what a powerful and thought-provoking conversation this was. Tonight, we challenge one of the leadership's most celebrated virtues, empathy. And what I believe we discovered is that empathy on its own is never enough, because empathy by itself does not guarantee fairness. Empathy by itself does not guarantee accountability. It does not guarantee growth. In fact, empathy without awareness can become something entirely different. It can become biased throughout, right? On tonight's conversation, we explore a difficult reality. The people we naturally understand and often receive our grace. The people who challenge us often receive our scrutiny. The people who remind us of ourselves often receive our patience, while others around us receive judgment. Not intentionally, not even maliciously, but it happens nonetheless. I need you to understand that you are in control of that. We invite you to stay close to ZNS Bahamas, because we're going to have the final newscast tonight at 11 p.m. I want you to remember that you have the ability to really lead well if you choose to. Put your empathy bias aside and do the best you can to lead the best you can. This has been the Rundown on Leadership. I want to thank my guest again, Cheryl, for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you with us. We invite you to stay close because the conversation continues next week should the Lord delay his calling. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Approximately 150 miles east of the Florida Keys lies Andros Island, which is filled with countless national treasures, from its glistening white sand beaches to its clear, pristine waters and bountiful natural resources. Andros is the largest island in the Bahamas archipelago and the 5th largest in the Caribbean, consisting of some of the most healthy marine and terrestrial habitats left in the Caribbean, including flourishing fish populations, the 3rd largest barrier reef in the world, the highest concentration of blue holes in the Western Hemisphere, and the largest reservoir of fresh water in the Bahamas. These resources contribute significantly to the Bahamian economy and are intrinsically woven into the cultural landscape of Andros. So what are we as a country doing to safeguard our national treasures?
Protecting nature, preserving life is the model that has and continues to guide the Nature Conservancy's work. One of the strategies used by the Nature Conservancy to ensure that this is accomplished is by assisting with the establishment of protected areas to conserve biodiversity.
Bahamas National Trust is mandated to manage all national parks in the country and also to manage and preserve our resources. On Andros, we noticed that Andros has the largest supply of natural resources for the country. So we work in conjunction with the Nature Conservancy and other NGOs on Andros to preserve Andros.
On the west side of Andros, there are a number of small islands, estuaries, tidal creeks, and wetlands that create a variety of habitats rich with life. Estuaries, for example, are important nursery and foraging habitat for many species, such as large populations of hawksbill, loggerhead, and green turtles, flamingos, which feed in both the northwestern and southern creeks of Andros, and the Andros rock iguana.
Since 2006, the Conservancy has been working with the Bahamas National Trust, Andros Conservancy and Trust, Nature's Hope for South Andros, the Department of Marine Resources, and the Kersner Marine Foundation to promote the expansion of the existing Andros Westside National Park. The reason for the expansion is to ensure that critical habitats and wildlife are protected from future threats and to help sustain our quality of life.
As part of the project team's efforts to promote the expansion of the Westside National Park, community members and leaders have been encouraged to view the beauty of the West Side and witness the important ecological features that exist there so that they can understand the significance of the area.
Well, I was very surprised to see the turtles and the birds and also the dolphins.
I recently had an opportunity to travel with Nature Conservancy and tour the west side of Andros. And I must say, in terms of biodiversity, just richness of life in the area. I was very impressed.
Every time I go on the west side, I'm in awe. And I just kind of gaze and dream of, just being amazed by the wonder what we have out there. Known, and just happy to know as Androsian that that's Andros, and that's, ours.
The West Side is not only ecologically important, but it also provides various economic benefits for locals, such as fly fishing, bird watching, sponging, and other opportunities that support the local economy.
One of the key things I think, we should continue this program for the parks is the ecotourism. It's very, very bountiful and bringing in cash, tourism, for the community itself. I hear a lot of stories from a lot of guests that I take out. I myself, do a lot of charters to the west side, and I know the beauty, the unspoiledness of it. And a lot of comments I get from a lot of guests is, how beautiful, how green, how healthy the mangroves, turtles and tarpon, and actually how well that would sell throughout the world market.
Andros is one of the very few islands where human threats to biodiversity are still relatively low due to its small population and vast uninhabitable areas. Despite the island's relatively intact marine systems, many have seen signs of deterioration over the years and fear that if persons do not understand the value of their natural resources, that their actions will cause severe impacts to the environment.
When you think of how much mangrove have been destroyed throughout the Bahamas, we realize that we need to protect and get people to understand that without the mangrove, we're losing a whole lot. Not just fish, but we lose crabs, we lose turtles, we lose crawfish, so much sea life, and marine life. But educating our people is really the most important thing in order for it to be protected and preserved.
The Bahamas government recognizes that we must act now in order to meet the challenges that face global diversity, such as natural and human impacts to the environment. Measures have been taken to conserve, protect, and sustainably utilize the priceless natural resources that support our way of life.
Under an initiative known as the Caribbean Challenge, the government of the Bahamas has committed to protecting 20% of